All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. It is the angelic grid work happening today for the transit of June 17th to July 7th. I have the beautiful Janelle here coming in from a compassionate school. Yes, so you want to tell us a little bit about briefly how people might benefit today with your etheric forms of healing on this Venus and Cancer transit.
Yeah. Well, I leave the astrology to you, but I'm Janelle from A Compassionate Heart School, and I'm an intuitive counselor. And so basically, I'm here to really join what you've created here. It feels so lovely. I've been connecting already all morning. And I feel that with my energy, I'm just here to kind of bring in that Shakti flow. And also, I do a lot of etheric work, any surgery, any template work, whatever needs to be done. And I feel that I'll be supporting this movement. I also wanted to point out, like I told you earlier, that you have a very polite, very lovely community because they were energetically greeting me earlier this morning. So thank you guys for having me. Such a pleasure. And of course, anything that I can do to support, in alignment with the flow and my higher self, Christ consciousness, which is not religious, I'm here to do that for you. So thanks for having me.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And before I forget later, tell us about your compassionate school, your compassionate heart school, like the tag. I don't want to mess it up. I know you'll get that way better than I will.
That's all right. So I'm still figuring everything out, meaning I'm showing up wherever I'm called to be. So how that trajectory is going to be up to the divine. But from what it is expressing as right now is it's pretty much a school. It's a structure, and it's not where I want it to be yet, because once I get it up and running, I'll be doing a lot of work from A Course in Miracles, helping a lot of people to deprogram, bring themselves back into alignment with who they really are, and really just shift out of these lower timelines, which we don't actually need to be in. But for right now, I assist people who are going through their awakenings. Through my channel, I do a lot of free, what can I call it? Energy readings, transmissions, light code work, also check-ins. But through private clients, I find that most of them are like you, mission oriented. So a lot of people come to me because they have a calling. And so we just get the work done. We do everything. That's it. Come check me out if you would like more.
No. And I can attest for it. I actually did a heart chakra healing with her with one of these etheric surgeries. And I know even just through my dream work in the following days, I'll say what I can say now is that heart transmission continued to really just go through a full unlocking and transformation. And so I can see it even within a week, how beneficial it was to go through that etheric surgery. Like, not everything can be healed in a doctor's office. Some things are energetic, some things are at the soul level, some things are at the contract level. And I feel Janelle, a karmic contract level, soul contract levels, I feel Janelle really did a beautiful job of being able to walk through, making me feel safe when it comes to the energetic healings. And I think it's something that she's going to be somebody you're going to see a lot more in the future. So for everybody here, thank you for hitting the thumbs up and likes button. I see y'all on Facebook already dropping us some love and some appreciation. This chat, I tried to make it private for members only, but
that's okay.
Life didn't permit it. So maybe you were supposed to be able to. So take advantage of that today, because this live would have been for members only. So take advantage, talk to us in the chat. Because most of these streams, as you know, will be members only. So today you got a free one because life permitted it. Not because of me. Life was like, no, let them chat. So drop your writings in the chat down below. It probably was. And we have this angelic grid work that's happening. So all signs are going to get a little bit of an etheric healing. We're going to be mindful of Janelle's energy, and we're not going to go over the top when it comes to these healing per sign. But I'm going to give you a forecast of what's happening for Venus in Cancer and why that is a healing transit. I can tell you right now, Venus in Cancer is running the 11th house of angelic voices and guidance from far out life forms, beings, different races of, let's say, foreign influence, as well as abilities to communicate through the birds, through the winds, anything air related, smoke. And the 4th house, let me see, 4 people watching, is a healing house. It's a house of recuperation, of energetic privacy that's necessary to receive downloads, to process deep-seated emotions that actually help us to better project our brilliant light out into the world, which will happen more when Venus transitions into Leo. So that said, all right, let's get into this. Janelle, thank you for that beautiful intro. Like I said, today we're doing this angelic grid work. And what I will say is this date is wrong, but on the 16th, this is the last class. On the 16th, we'll have our next membership meet. Some of the benefits are going to be the same, but what I'll say is we're going to be working more energetically on the lungs. All right. It's going to be more Gemini related. We're in Gemini season. Gemini represents the lungs. I'm going to work a little bit on the liver, which is on this right side, holding our anger. I'm going to let y'all know on the full moon coming in Capricorn, there's a tremendous amount of primal rage that will be activating in all of us, especially those of you who have early degrees of Capricorn 0, 1, 2, 3 degrees or so. All of those people with that in your Western chart, your Vedic chart is going to be activating this primal rage in a nakshaktra or a constellation called Mula. And it is literally us and the parts of us that refuse and struggle to integrate into society and have a more primal mindset where there are no real rules needed in the jungle because we understand you don't poke the lion, right? You don't kill more than what you need to eat. So there's a natural understanding energetically with this, but we live in this 3D reality. So understand that equates to a lot of anger. It equates to a lot of rage because we can't actually express these primal needs without going to jail, right? So I'll talk more about that with Eileen when we do our full moon live, but just know that we're going to help you through the next membership meet, releasing the resistance and helping us detach in a healthy way, not in a toxic way, and actually invite more gifts. So that said, thank you for hitting the thumbs up. I do appreciate y'all. Let's move into the first forecast for today. The more Aries you have in your chart, the more this is going to matter. Okay, Janelle, we see we got 2 people coming in from your channel. So thank y'all for the people walking in from Janelle's channel as well. I appreciate y'all. Any comments y'all make on her channel, I'm able to put that up on screen.
No. By the way, I'm not.
Yeah, no. I made sure to have her cut it off so she can't see y'all.
Yeah, that's great because you know me, I'm just. But mwah, to everybody.
Yeah. I totally get it. I made sure she cut it off so that we can keep the channel and the healing right here where it wants to be and needs to be. Okay, so Aries. During Venus and Aries, during Venus and Cancer, starting June 17th, okay, to the 7th of July, you're going to be walking through the 4th house transit. You're probably one of the ones going through the most healing. Now, the areas of healing that's happening for you are in the ways in which you generate income and actually for what you deserve, for what you feel you are worth, and actually attracting the more harmonic and simple relationships that might not be a part of what your family may value on a social scale and a social when it comes to social mannerisms, but potentially if you're out of the country with that homeland that you're in. Okay, so let's say me, for example, I am in Aries. I'm from the United States, but I'm in the homeland of Mexico. So it's like starting to meet people in your homeland, starting to generate incomes in your homeland, not necessarily where you're born, but where you actually stay now. These are different things that could start to happen for you. Now, with that said, your network is going to go through a tremendous expansion during this time, and it's going to start to actually help you accumulate. But in order to do that, Cancer is asking you to rest and to take care of your body more and understand that that is actually the outlet. It's the channel for you to focus on receiving more abundance, receiving from large groups and organizations, receiving from people in one-on-one relationships in a way that makes you feel harmonic and doesn't bring you out of your energy, doesn't make you feel anything less than at peace with yourself and at peace in the relationships that you are in. So Aries, this is what I have for you. And Janelle, whatever you feel may be best healing for these Aries, feel free to share that. Whether that's a tarot pull or just what you got as a channel.
Yeah, no, that was great. Guys, you got to keep up with the astro and find a good teacher and kind of go with it. That was really good. So for you, Aries, hi, everybody. The minute you said Aries, I felt electricity come right through all the way down to the feet and kind of like push out. And so what we just did, it looks like we're going to be doing some energetic clearing by sign as well, is we just enlivened the energetic vessel for a lot of you. We just cleared out a lot of junk, a lot of gunk. I feel as I'm dropping it a little bit, I'm feeling a lot of family stuff is going to be washed out. So the good news is that you don't necessarily have to take any action towards doing your shadow work. Well, always do your shadow work, but towards following up on what it is that I'm talking about right now, it's already just going to weep right out. But the thing is, you know, our guides are coming here for a reason. They're coming, Aries, to sit you down and hit you with the Hierophant card. That's you super cutely sitting on this limb, not going out on a limb to do anything, not taking liberties. This is the time, Aries. I know it's going to hurt to hear that, but you got to have a few seats, maybe just 2 seats, not too much, because you're going to be taught the proper and correct way to do something. Now, depending on what area of your life this energy goes to, it's really going to depend on you, and that's, you know, the realm of a personal chart. However, either way, be ready, be receptive, trust in the universe that you're properly grounded, you've been cleared out, and whatever information and lessons need to come in are going to require your intuition and focus on that, but surrender to the universe. And that's what I've got for you, Aries. Of course, there's more, but to keep it short, we'll move forward with that. Oh, and limes.
Yeah,
I'm getting not limes, lemons, and possibly limes. For some reason, is coming through. A lot of times, messages come through for people, and their spirit teams will throw words out so that they can follow up with you at a later time. So.
No, Aries, that makes total sense. Limes and lemons will help you stay hydrated and keep the electrolytes as you go through the heating process, and actually melt down some of the hardened ice that has built up in block format, okay, from you cutting off certain emotions because you didn't feel they were accepted. And this does feel more from the family. And so conditions that made you feel like, you know, you couldn't just truly be yourself, and potentially the lack of time you've taken to process at an emotional level what you're feeling, what is true to you. And so second house, like you see here, is about food. And so if she's recommending the lemon and limes, I'm just feeling in the moment, it's about maintaining your hydration levels so that the water within you is pure. The lemon and limes, they help purify, they help detoxify your water. And so as you're drinking water, having lemon and limes will truly help with this healing process. I feel that. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
A happy day. Have a happy day. I'm glad. Look at that positive energy. So here we go. Taurus, Venus in Cancer as well as Mercury in Cancer. Okay, these both are happening. They're both going to happen for you in your third house. Now, only Venus will be in your first house and your sixth house. So Venus is obviously your home planet, Taurus. And the third house, I'm really getting strong in this moment. It has a lot to do with you and your siblings and the affection that you give yourself and the affection that your siblings give you. And coming to a place where you can nurture yourself without having your siblings to have to be the one to nurture you. Or this can also be your aunts and uncles. I still feel siblings mostly, but for some of you, it'll be your aunts and uncles. This is major. This also is about your immediate environment and the type of nurture and healing you're getting from your immediate environment. So you have to ask yourself, is this environment healing for me? Is it nurturing? Does it supply me with the courage to go ahead and actually just be my true self and voice my opinions and what I think without having to feel neglected for my genius, for my own creative thought babies. And also it's a little bit about you getting rid of the negative thoughts that may not be serving that entire process. Okay, especially when it comes to the peers and the people that you're interacting with in that immediate and physical environment. And again, this is the physical environment. So this is also about learning how to take the time to speak to a tree, okay, and listen and receive from it and give to it. Both way, right? Learning how to speak to a bird and listen to it and gain from it and also give to it. And so, Taurus, I feel like this is huge when it comes to communicating with nature and understand the different forms of nature. And that it's not always a tree. It's not always a bird. It's not always the wind. It's not always the rain, right? It's all forms of living energy that can flow and your ability to communicate with that energy. Venus in Cancer, Mercury in Cancer is going to help your communication with the divine, okay, with the inner God, and actually to have the courage to do that, especially if your foundational family, aka not the conditions and the patterns of the family, but the family members that are probably dead and gone already, who set the foundation, who brought the land, okay, that your family kept growing on, who brought the first home. This is something where there's secrets that I feel are going to start to kind of be revealed from these very old things that you as an earth sign, you may think like, well, this is not in front of me, but it's like, no, this is a time to communicate with God, and whatever you feel God is, however you connect with God. It's about strengthening the courage it takes to talk to God, and there are going to be tremendous benefits. So, Janelle might have some energetic healings that'll help unlock that communication channel for you.
That's lovely. So the minute that you got started talking, everything's coming in already. And it's the key word that you mentioned is environment. So what I'm getting, and also for the body, maybe you might want to add something about the body from your sense, but I was getting the upper back along the spine area is going to be an area of, let's say, contemplation for a lot of you. So that could simply be that energy will be flowing into the spine from that area. Remember, that is corresponding to the back of the heart chakra. And we have chakras on the front and back. So that's going to be the back. But going back to this idea of environment, you too, just like Aries, ding, this card came back up again, will be going through a moment during this period of receptivity. So right now, as you're watching this video, you're being primed to take control of your ability to receive. And for you, that's going to look like taking control of your environment. You really have to make sure that you are clear about where you are, who you are around. Now, we understand about proper energetic and energetic input and output, taking care of who you're around. But remember, for those of you who need to hear this, also pay close attention to any geopathic stress that's in the area. And I don't just mean like pollution, noise pollution. Yeah, I'm talking about, you don't have to go way back and remember the burial grounds that your home sits on, but be mindful. And that could be as simple as connecting with someone who could assist you with that, or asking your spirit team to guide you in a process of sitting down and opening up to just not the energies, but to understand what you're dealing with so that you can get that clear. This isn't about doing a deep dive with a Ouija board or anything like that, because you're not opening up to be contaminated by what's around you, but to be aware of what's around you, whether it's people, whether it's certain objects, whether it's just the environment in general, and shore up, because that is the best thing that you can do to become receptive to the information that's going to be coming in for you. And I do feel that that's going to be the realm of a personal reading, what details are coming in for you. But a lot of it is going to be, I'm seeing ancestral wounding that needs to be healed. For some of you, there are going to be insights about your business, right? For somebody here, you need to do an Akashic deep dive with a trusted person. Just because someone says they do Akashic readings doesn't mean that they have the ability to interpret it, for example, in the way that you need it. So be mindful. That's what you need to do, Taurus. Be mindful, be grounded, and it starts with checking your environment. Sorry, are we still going? Because I see that you're a little frozen, but I don't know if I'm frozen as well. Yeah, so while it seems that we're frozen, I feel like I wanted to mention to Aries, and maybe this is the time to do it. After the fact, I wanted to remind Aries that you guys, another message came in for you to feel safe. No matter what's going on in your life, remember that you're safe, and that's what you're being asked to keep in mind. Double Pernell bobbies. Oh no. No, but you know what? Listen, because when you started reading about talking about Taurus, I thought, oh no, another message for Aries. And I was like, should I mention it? And I didn't want to interrupt you with the possibility of the internet being weird. So I was just able to mention to Aries people a little bit of what you need to hear. And I hope it gets to you, is that you are safe. You're safe. All right?
No, I feel like that's important.
Universe.
I feel like that's important. There's something that stuck out to me with the third house being in Taurus about that geopathic stress. Exactly.
Yeah,
the
sure.
Geopathic stress. Thank you.
Sure.
Tourmaline, pyrite, labradorite, hematite. These things will really help you, Taurus, when it comes to that geopathic stress, because you are energetically 2 to 5 years old, and babies at that age are tremendously sensitive when it comes to their skin, okay? When it comes to being infected by anything not pure, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Taurus has that, you need purity. That's why you need really pure foods to help ground you, so that you can better open up your receptivity channels, kind of like Janelle said, okay?
I'm sorry. Can I just pop in? I don't want to keep
Please.
mind of the
No, do
time,
it.
but
Do it.
yeah. You guys, I just heard Gemini. Okay, we're getting there. I don't know if that's your viewers or personal agents.
Somebody said Gemini. Somebody really said Gemini.
We're like, come on. No, but I do want to say with Taurus, environment. Remember, environment is just going to be a theme for you in general, because I have a Taurus in my chart, and we like to just stay put with things. We like to be not moving. We like to just stay where we are and do what we're doing, and we're solid. So you want to make sure that whatever you do build and wherever you do plop yourself for whatever it is a place that is worthy of your energy and allows you to have expansion. Because the whole point of being stable where you are is not just to like anchor down and just be small, but it's to anchor down in a place where you can have the world wherever you are. So, I need to write that down for myself.
No,
so
I'm a progressed Taurus sun, so I'm an Aries, but I'm progressing to Taurus, so I resonate with everything you said so far. Beautiful. Yeah. So thank y'all. Keep dropping your rising signs in the chat if you're watching with us, so that we can probably spend a little extra energy for y'all participating and being here live.
Yeah.
Drop that down, or anything you feel like in your chart that repeats. It doesn't have to be a rising sign. If you have 5 planets in Aries, 5 planets in Sagittarius, drop that even if it's not your rising. Okay, so Gemini, Venus in Cancer, Mercury in Cancer. Gemini, you're one of the stars because Mercury is your home planet, right? So anything that happens with Mercury happens to you. And Mercury in Cancer, it starts to already rule the 11th and that 4th house. So that's something we're going to keep remembering for all the signs. So these are your the people you're connected with. This is the networking that you do. This is the time you take to pause and reflect with your network, okay, and how they support or don't support. Now, with that being said, you're going through, that's overall for everybody, but you're going through a second house transit when we talk about food, your value systems, what you value about food, what you don't value about certain and particular foods. These are about your resources, about how you earn your income, about the potential for the earning of your income, okay? And it's ruling the 12th and the 5th house for you. Now, what's important is by the time you get Venus in Cancer, you're just leaving a transit right prior of Venus in Gemini. And that's that 12th house, 5th house. And these are houses of a tremendous ability to channel the unseen energy, to talk very clearly and communicate back and forth with God. Okay. I have a Venus in Gemini natal placement, and I can kind of speak about this. Like, this is about your internal dichotomies with the voices you hear. So you're kind of coming from a place where there are a lot of dark voices in your head. And that's something I feel is not to ignore, because you are about internal dichotomies and expressing those internal dichotomies. Now, that's when you were prior going to your 1st house. Now, when you get into your 2nd house, you're going to start to understand which of those thoughts are more harmonic. And this is going to be the shift. Prior is going to just be a little more passionate and fiery. But once you get into Cancer, that water is going to come and settle that fire down for you, Gemini. And it's going to start to ground which of these thoughts are more harmonic. What is this connection with God, and the way in which I pray, the way in which I've stayed grounded has been coming through what? And Venus in Cancer is going to show you it's coming through your affirmations. It's coming from you taking your rest. It's coming from you not overexerting and talking when you know you need to just maintain silence. Okay? Not people pleasing in any way, shape, or form. Not doing things for certain praise or attention. And so Venus in Cancer is going to just help you feel a little secure, where you love to talk and you can talk to anybody, which makes it difficult to respect your peace and your silence, because you have answers and you have the ability to channel for any and everybody. As that 12th house, that's a collective channel, meaning you could be channeling energy from somebody in Africa right now for somebody in Indonesia. And it can get very confusing about what's your thoughts. But the 2nd house transit is going to actually bring you a certain sense of grounding and simplicity. Okay? So that when that message goes out, the things that you learn, you understand, not everything needs to be shared. Some things can be reserved as for your initial impulse. And ultimately, Venus and Cancer is going to do a tremendous healing that I think Janelle is going to show us. What can you help them heal with in this particular area?
Well, interesting. The first thing that I saw or got when you started with Gemini is I heard Gemini's going Gemini. I literally heard that. And here, Gemini to me always gives off this color of green. And here we have you all in your glory. And when you mentioned, oh, Gemini, you're going to be the star, I just felt Gemini pop up. But the message that's coming through for you, Gemini, is also coming through with the Tower card. And so the message is Geminis are going to Gemini, right? Whatever that means to you, it is what it is. However, there's a little bit of a caution here. And the words were, don't Gemini too much. And the reason why is because I felt here a little earache in my left ear. And the message is that you don't know everything about what it is that you will be stepping into. So I'm not saying that Geminis usually move as though they're experts in the world. It feels, because we know that no one is an expert in the world really, but it feels more like you usually move in like, oh, this is who I am, and this is who I am, and this is who I am, and this is who I am. However, it's time to take a step back and also get into a state of receptivity. I haven't done the June monthly reading as yet, and I think I needed to wait until after this collaboration for some reason. But I wonder if this being open and receptive is a theme that's going to be happening in this month. But Geminis, be ready to take a step back and to be shown something new about someone or something. There's going to be a new approach for some of you that you're going to be asked to do. You may need to do like a totally different mental framework. And the reason why this is so important is because you want to avoid moving in a space with someone like a bull in a china shop, so to speak, right? Because fine china. When we think about bull in china shop, we think Aries. Sorry, Aries. Listen, I have Aries too. I'm a sun sign Aries, so don't at me. Right? Yeah.
We got 2 Aries in the house.
I've got something going on there. But the point is with you, Gemini, is you have to show up in integrity. Don't do that slip out. You know, no shout outs to Aqua energy there. No slip outs of anything. Stay where you are, stay in your integrity, show up with your hat off, shoes off. This is who I am. Sorry, I didn't tie my laces, but here I am. And be open to be shown something new, because you're going to have to take a whole new approach to something. And you'll be working with energies that may require a more subtle and finer expression of who you are. And I'm going to wrap that up really quickly by just saying, when I say finer and more subtle, it's not that it's better or worse. Just remember, if some people are more sensitive, like a cute little kid, versus someone who's, you know, like riding a motorcycle, less sensitive overall, even though they also are sensitive on the inside, your approach is different. And because you're a communicative kind of energy, it's okay to shift and adjust, which you do very well, to where you're going into, where you're plugging into. I knew this little, there's a socket on the wall that like wanted to come in earlier, and I don't know if you can still see it. You can't behind the banner, but you're plugging into something new and approach as a visitor, even if it's a visitor who's come to stay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm back.
Yeah. Because then it kind of feels like, because then it allows you to have the discernment of that second house, of that Taurus energy, of, do you want to stay? Is this worth sitting still in? Is this worth taking my time to attract more blessings, more abundance, more things to learn, right? More things to take risks.
Learning curve here, not curve, learning curve, but there's something has to drop in, and then maybe then it's just, no, I can't even say then it's bye. I don't know. But it's about being receptive to learning something new. Notice all of the signs have come through with that already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, were you
cool. So Gemini, there you go. You have it. This is the angelic grid work. We're gonna keep doing this for each of the signs. Okay. That said, remember, forgive me. Not this Sunday, but the Sunday following, on the 16th of June, we're gonna be doing our next membership meet. Here's some of the things you can expect. Again, we're doing the healing. Like I said, on the lungs, it's going to be happening, some Qigong, Tai Chi exercises. We're going to be working through your energies in the lungs, helping to relieve resistance, okay, towards these new opportunities. So Gemini, that's for you. It's for you. If you made it to the end of this, Gemini, drop the thumbs up. Everybody watching, I would appreciate it, whether on my channel or Janelle's channel. Give that love, give that support, and drop the Gemini in the chat down below if you enjoyed that message so far. All right. So Cancer, if you're here, you're catching us on timestamp and replay, I want to say thank you for taking the time to come watch us, whether live or whether on replay. Okay. By the time you get to the end of this, Cancer, I'm getting step 1. There's an annoyance happening for you. Okay. I'm getting that pretty early, but we'll figure out what that is. But Cancer, by time, if you're all watching this, I want you to just drop the crab and let us know that you're going to go ahead, you're going to sidestep that, and you're going to move forward like the waves of the ocean with power, with force at the right time. Okay, not a second early, not a second late. So Cancer, what I'm getting for you, first off, this is you, right? Venus in Cancer is happening in your first house because that's where it's at. And this is who you are. Now, like I said, the overall for everybody was in this 11th house and this 4th house because that's the transit happening. But for you, it's that much more specific, Cancer. So you're going through a first house transit, and this is the transit of your personality. This is the first thing people see and assume about you. It's also the things that you will feel courageous about. And so in this instance, you're going to have more courage, okay, to actually push forward and take the time to be still in the messages, be still within your community, all right? To actually show yourself in these groups and these associations, but without having to feel like you have to behave a certain way. And you're going to get in contact with what are these conditionings that made you feel you needed to behave this way anyways. Like I said, Cancer, there's something that is very annoying.
I've been trying not to look at it.
There's something, I feel it, like there's something, that's why I had to throw my bells on.
It fits so into the message, don't worry.
It's on the message, yeah.
Yeah,
Cancer, there's somebody very annoying, okay? I don't know if it's somebody, I don't know if it's a group of people, I don't know if it's the care that you need to give yourself. And I feel like you may need to take a little isolation for yourself. I think the key with this is don't over isolate, don't over withdraw, okay? Because there's mad blessings here. I think the easiest thing for you to do is to isolate and withdraw. But I feel the bigger key is don't do it so long that you miss these blessings. You have a tremendous amount of blessings that are actually just on the precipice for you. And I really feel like Venus in Cancer is going to help you reinvigorate yourself and your personal values and actually bring in a wave of new emotions. And with those new emotions are going to come new memories, right? Not allowing the past to stop you from stepping into your future abundance, your future growth, okay? Your future form of resilience, your future courage. All these things are just adjectives of your future's trying to bring it to you here, now, in the present. And there's something distracting you. And I feel like it may be a bad memory that is deterring you from thinking, well, this happened before like this, so it's going to happen again. And I feel like it's important right now not to let that quincunx energy to Sagittarius, aka which is the opposite of Gemini. These Sagittarius energies may be getting you to withdraw and step away because something happened in the past when you took an action similar to the abundance, in the form of abundance and just brilliance coming your way. And it's going to make you want to think that, well, it's going to happen like this again. And I feel truly in my heart that it's not. And it's important right now not to fulfill the prophecy by not engaging with the present moment. And I feel this is the key, where when that urge comes to want to think this, I know how this is going to go because this is how it went before. It's important to recognize that impulse and then pause on it and be still with it and then go, okay, well, here's the path here's how I imagine that it could look like, that I want it to look like, that would make me happy and full of joy and vitality if it looked like this. And then focus your imagination on that image. And at that point, I'm telling you, massive abundance. But oh, look at the celebration, baby! Look at the fireworks came out.
I'm looking around, but I'm not seeing anything over here.
Right?
Sorry.
So Janelle, what do you have for them, Janelle? What do you have for them? What healing can Cancer go through that we can probably do a little surgery on that process for them to help them open up to this?
Okay, first of all, you're definitely talking to me because I have a lot of Cancer in my chart as well as Capricorn, so I'm out here. the first thing I want to do is start with the good news for Cancer, because I feel that you really, really could use it. First of all, it's about your environment. Okay. Yes, you can kind of hermit up a little bit and seclude, but I'm feeling in particular for you, just like Pernell Bobby said, it's not about just, becoming a recluse. It's about understanding, let me draw back from the point of pain that is external, although everything is internal, but that I'm experiencing externally to me, and then relocate or pull myself into and also focus on things that bring me joy. This is a simple matter of taking responsibility for your own joy, understanding, ouch, that hurts, pull it back, and then focus on what you want to do, focus on where you want to be, how you want to feel, because I feel that more than any of the signs for today, you are being called to do a timeline jump. You're being called to shift your energy. But in order to do that, you're going to have to prime the pump. You're going to have to do the internal work, which is about disconnecting from what it is that you do not want, focusing on building the energy of what it is that you would like to have be the case. It's very important that you disconnect from outside of you, because outside of you is not a now moment. It doesn't matter, right? So you pull in, flavor yourself, build yourself up, gas yourself up, whatever you need to do. And by doing that, you open your eyes and you're in another timeline. You have shifted. You may look the same, but you're now at another level of potential. So you're being asked to alchemize yourself. It's very, very important, because listen, I don't want to call anyone out on here, but the song, Celebrate Good Times, I don't know if you guys are hearing it, just randomly playing outside, started playing at Gemini's party at the end of Gemini's reading. And then I could already feel Cancer coming in with these grief energies, and boom, these are the cards that I got. Look at all that water. And it's like, I don't want to throw a wet blanket on you guys, but I was definitely feeling that. So please, 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 Cancerians, take responsibility. If you follow my channel, we're 100% about taking personal responsibility for your inner self. And I also think I heard a promise from Cancerians. I won't throw any water on you. I definitely heard that. They were saying it to the Gemini partying people, right? So please make sure that you prime yourself inside, because you're going to be timeline jumping, and shh is what I'm getting, because where you're going is a surprise, but you have to put your shoes on. Come on now. Now me receiving all that. Okay, I will. So that's what I'm getting. And of course, this can apply to love. I'm hearing somebody like, is this about Johnny? I don't know who Johnny is, but listen, don't worry about Johnny, worry about you, and see if Johnny is still able to get through. You can quote me on that, and you can at me.
And she said, at her, what up?
Yeah. And behind
that was beautiful. I appreciate that. I feel like I'm going to listen to that message again, like on a timestamp. So Cancer, if you made it for this and you resonate, okay, I want you to drop the wave in the chat just to go ahead, help the algorithm out, help us both out, help the channels. And
it's Johnny.
And what's up?
It's Johnny. I just split the deck. I don't know who it is. It doesn't matter. Focus on you, and then look, focus on you. 5 of Pentacles, low self-worth, the sun. You've been told what to do. Focus on you, and if Johnny is still able to get through, then we'll chat about Johnny. Sorry.
No. Let it flow through, girl. Let it flow through.
Yeah.
We cut all channels out just to let that message flow. So Cancer, if you resonated, like I said, drop the waves, wash away all the thoughts that are not supporting you. Nurture you, internal you. All right.
Timeline
and
jump.
let's do this. Timeline jump. That was another key theme right there. So here we go. We have this going on for y'all, the angelic grid work. All right. Drop your rising sign, drop your moon sign, whatever sign you have replicating in your chart over and over and over. Drop that. Do remember that we're coming up on the 16th. Not you. We're coming up on the 16th of June. All right. Doing another one of our membership meets. We're going to be healing the lungs. So that's something that you're going to want to be a part of. And that said, let's move into Leo. Thank y'all for hitting those thumbs up. We have 3 more people from Janelle's channel watching it. So, hey, what's going on, Janelle? And those of you who are watching on my channel, check out Janelle's channel. It's in the description. You'll see it on my YouTube. I put up a post, a compassionate heart school. And so that's her channel. Let's check it out. Leo, what up, boo? I'm just kind of feeling like I'm just feeling a little early shoulder shrug, like, what up, boo? Like, what's going on? Like, how you doing? How you living? How you feeling? Mercury in Cancer, Venus in Cancer, both of those are going to go to your 12th house, okay? Mercury in the 12th house is next level spiritual, okay? There's a tremendous amount of exchanges between multiple dimensions and realities going to happen for you, Leo, all right? This is a house of isolation. This is a house of reclusion. It's a house of loss, okay? So the key is, when I see this, the rulership of the 10th house, the 10th house is a very public house. Okay, the third house is a very communicative house where you're doing meetings and you're scheduling and you're connecting with people of all different sects and religions and backgrounds. And the 10th house is like you're doing that publicly speaking. You're very mature. But the 12th house is hidden. So that may be some of the loss right now. You may be losing some of, yeah, look at that in the right ear. You may be losing some connection right now with that public shine, with meeting up with people outside of your home, outside of your own privacy, okay, outside of your own isolation. And that may not feel the best because you kind of just got out of some kind of etheric prison lately. You've been pretty much having to pay a lot of karma back. And right now is one of those transits where it's here. You had a break, okay? You had a little light come out and it felt good, Leo, because let's be honest, you're the sunshine. You don't want to stay hidden, right? You want to be seen. And there's nothing wrong with that. But in order to be seen and be sustainable, it takes that time of privacy, right? Even in the story of Horus and Hathor, right? AKA the mother of the sun god deity, like the sun has to go down every day. And in that, it goes through a lot of recovery. It goes through a lot of nourishment where all of its duties that it had to give out to the kingdom, right? It cost energy. Not that the sun isn't all powerful and completely sustainable on its own, but it does leave and stop serving certain parts of this energetic atmosphere, okay, or your state or your country, and it serves other parts. And so it's like you're still shining, but you're serving different areas right now that may not give you as much public clout, may not give you as much shine, may not be the people and the things you want to talk to, or the entities and the energies and the realms you want to talk to, but they're trying to talk to you. They want you to hear something. And I feel Janelle has that message for you.
Wow. What up, boo is exactly.
What up, boo? I felt that off the rip. Like, what up, boo?
I'm like blown away because I'm like this emperor here. He's chatting to me, but I'm like in the card. I'm trying to listen here, and there's a lot going on. So first of all, Leo. First of all, let me get out of the details. I also want to remind people that when we're reading for energetic dynamics. And I think that you can understand that here if you're an astro crowd, because you understand that we're looking at energetic dynamics, and then we're looking to see how those dynamics play into the different areas of your life. And on my channel, what I like to talk about is looking at energetic dynamics and then understanding how that plays out into personal details, because what's going on in the upper dimensions translates into specific people, places, things, situations, ideas, forms, and that will be different depending upon who you are. So that being said, I believe that this was the first card I brought up for Leo, and she was it's the Queen of Cups. And I just happened to be looking down, and I connected with that card because I noticed how my head is looking the same way. So I noticed, okay, so we are connecting and grounding in this message, and looked at the bottom of the deck, and I'm going to hold this up the exact way that it's splayed out without hurting it. Look, Emperor right here. What up, boo? And the way that they're on the table looks like they're having, like this person is having this conversation. I know my cards. This is the King of Cups. I don't remember if this is what this is, but it's showing up. And I think I see the Sun card. You mentioned the Sun card as well. I think I see the Sun card. Ooh, it's not the Sun card. It is the Page of Wands. So here's the message coming through for you guys, because this what up boo person has baggage. Okay, so if this is a person in a romantic sense, first of all, don't we all? I'm just kidding. Right, we understand how it easily applies to the romantic world, but if it is about a job, for example, or some other realm, it means pay attention, do your due diligence. So now we're going back to look at some of you Leo people, or whoever this is for. Whatever it is that you're getting into, and I guess that would be dependent on the house and the area, you know, using the astro idea here, you're being asked to exercise due diligence because you are, look how much she's carrying right here. It's just this little suitcase, right? So you are shifting into a new realm. You're shifting into a new space altogether. And so you don't just come in and just go with the first thing or the first job or the first whatever. You do your due diligence. I like what I'm feeling with you, Leo. You feel a little bit not beaten down, a little bit downtrodden, but that's not what I like. What I like though is that you feel firm. Look at my thumb, firm. Here I am. And this is different from the energy that we saw with Cancer, where we had the Five of Pentacles. It's kind of like, here I am, and am I? And right? So you're firm and you're poised to enter into something new. But be mindful that just because something approaches you doesn't mean that you just go headlong into it. You can, right? But the point is, you want to check first that your intuition about it is correct. Now, I don't want to get into human design or anything, but there are some profiles that cannot, if you have a solar plexus emotional, authority going on, you cannot trust the now physical moment that is just here. Emotionally, don't go off of that. You have to take a step back, and the best way to move throughout the world is to, what I always say, go back to yourself. Make sure that you are in the right vibration, you're functioning the way you need to function, and that in and of itself makes you a very beneficial, or puts you in a very optimal space to attract things, to attract higher quality. And when your house is right, you will be in the right space to be able to trust what comes to you more quickly. I hope that makes sense a lot.
No, you said it. J-Lo, and maybe if you can help us in the chat, 'cause I know J-Lo's really good with HD. I don't know right now off the top of the head, and I don't want to get lost trying to go search for it. But I know Gemini, a lot of the Gemini planets right now in the sky in human design are in the throat. Okay? The throat, aka the actions that we take, the things that we say, whether positive, negative, everything. It doesn't matter. The art that we create, right? Anything that we manifest and put into action connects a lot to the solar plexus. And that is where Janelle kind of made that mention, right? Where even if you don't have the solar plexus activated in your personal chart, and I do know some Leos that do have that activated, but even if you don't, it's connecting to that Saturn and Pisces, and it's making the collective have that solar plexus active in the human design chart. So again, I don't know right now, or if soon that's happening already. What I can tell you is when Gemini highlights, I know there's Pisces. We have Neptune in Pisces. We have Saturn in Pisces. So those solar plexus gates are already active. If you have that throat chakra or some Gemini energy already connecting, you might be in an emotional wave. And it may be what she said. You may need to take the time to slow down and let time show the projection, show the illusion, show the delusion on X, Y, and Z, so that you can make the clear, mature, logical, clean-cut, rational decision, even though it energetically and emotionally charges you to want to make it out of rationality, out of logic, out of intelligence. And when Janelle said the thumb, I think, Leo, the key thing I got for you is the top of this thumb represents the will power, and this part here represents the logic. So if you have a thumb like mine's, okay, it's saying that your will sometimes, the reverse. It's saying that your logic can be put to good use for your willpower. And some, if you have the opposite, if this little middle piece is thicker, it says that sometimes your willpower will override the logic. And so that's just a little palmistry that you can kind of tell. But when she said it, I started doing this, and a deprogram started happening. So Leo, this is something where I feel like you're in a deconditioning process about who do I feed? Because you represent I will as a mantra. I will, my will, I will, my will, my will, I will, my will, I will. And this is in your thumb. So are you combining the logic of that third house here, okay, of that 10th house method? That's earth and air. This is a very cut, cold, dry, non-emotional person. But that 12th house is excessive in its emotion. It can't control it. It's the depths of the ocean. It's full of mystery. It struggles to ground all that. But with that 10th house, third house, you can tuck it in and make something very powerful. So Leo, that's what we have for you.
Can I just add one more thing?
Please do.
So that they don't disrupt the internet again for me to add it later. Slow doesn't mean no. Okay, so that's the advice here for you, Leo. Take it slowly. Just vet it out. Just because you're going slower doesn't mean that it's automatically a no. And I feel that our Cancerian group, the guides are saying that's life advice for our Cancerian people. And I was trying to feel into Pisces. We all know Pisces needs to hear it, but I'm not necessarily getting a link to that message coming up right now. Shout out Pisces.
Cool. So Leo, if you made it here, do take the time to drop down that Leo sign, that crown, letting us know that you're going to make emperor-like decisions, kind of how Janelle said. She said she got the emperor card on one of them. Emperor decisions, clear cut, like this is what needs to happen. Some people may be angry, some people may be mad, but at the end of the day, this is going to be what is best, not just for me, but for the entire kingdom that I'm building, that I'm working on. And so drop that crown, letting us know that you got your hat on, that you're not going to tuck your chin, that you're going to walk proud as you are and feel secure within that. Okay. This is the angelic grid work. Thank y'all for that. Do remember, all right, if you're watching this on the 16th of June, we're doing our next healing. You can do that one time off. There's links to join just one time, or you can join our membership. It will be every first and third Sunday of every month. All right. So that said, let's move in. What's up, Shakira? Good to see you, girl. I think it's one of your people from Janelle's channel. Gang, gang.
Hi, gang, gang.
Thank y'all for showing the love on both channels. We really appreciate it. If you're on my channel and you're watching right now, I see 8 people watching from my channel. Go ahead, check out Janelle's channel. She's doing channeling. She's doing etheric magic and healing at the soul level constantly. So if that's something that's interesting to you, which if you're on this channel, I know it is, go check it. Virgo, what up? Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Virgo, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a little intertwined. I'm feeling a little nervous, but my nervousness feels like more excitement because you've been going through some dark and some gloomy times, okay? You've been going through a lot of death. And some of these deaths I know have been very physical, real life. People have been dying in your life, family and otherwise. And I also understand that you've been going through a lot of ego deaths. You've been going through the breakdown of being the best and the breakdown of, you know, having things look a certain way and to be, you know, in the critical and overly analytical stages of neuroticism where your mind can't chill out a little bit. And I feel like Venus in Cancer is going to allow you to use the energy of the crab to shift between these networks, these groups, okay, these sponsors, these societies that you're a part of. The way in which you network is going to allow you to kind of start side to side movement like a crab and better discern where to be passive and where to be aggressive. And I feel you're going to have an opportunity to choose between the two. Where should I be passive? Where can I be aggressive? And how can I better balance that out? That's the first thing I'm getting for you. And again, 11th house is the house of your angelic guides telling you exactly what to do. So 11th house is, it's not me telling me what to do. That's 5th house. 5th house is I'm telling myself, my own heart is telling me this is what's best for me. 11th house is, okay, these dragons, these gnomes, okay, these seraphims, these different angels, they're telling me here's the best course of action. And generally when you follow what the 11th house said, which can be tough to do because it's not your idea, so it takes a certain humility, which I think, Virgo, you have a natural sense of humility. So I don't think this is overly hard for you. Now's the time to tap into that humility and understand that when one of these ideas you get and you act on seems a little crazy, seems a little far-fetched, seems a little bit too advanced, too far in the future for you to rationally make sense of it, accept that it's okay because it's not your idea. So when it gets judged, you don't have to actually attach that judgment. Now, Mercury in Cancer is going to help you with this. You're going to have some past times come up where you did get attached to that judgment. You did care about what people thought. You were a little afraid to go ahead and be the best like you are. You are the best. This is the reality. Like, people don't call you a perfectionist for no reason. They call you a perfectionist because they understand that you're better than them. And that's not about a competition. Like, it's just the truth, right? Like, it's not a competition. And that's why your humility is going to be so important, because you are the best. You do become number one, right? And whatever you decide to do. And now what's happening with this transit, to be number one at the next stage and step of your life, you have to listen to those more esoteric and otherworldly guides. If you try to listen to yourself right now, you're going to fall out of balance. Okay. Now, this is also ruling the 9th house about taking the voyage. Okay, whether internal into deeper into your meditation, or whether external, physically going across borders into a different country, into a different thought process behind various religions, potentially just cultural text. You grew up in Catholicism, but now you're reading parts of the Quran, where keeping an open mind between how you shift between the two, what you learn, what you take, and what you get rid of. Ultimately, this is something that's going to increase your self-worth, increase your value system, increase the types of cultural, increase your cultural understanding as a whole, and what you value about various cultures, and how it starts to actually unlock you to receive more of these angelic messages. And I feel overall, this is what Venus in Cancer is going to help you with. Mercury being in a water sign is going to just make you a little more receptive as an earth sign. What happens when you pour water on earth, it becomes more fertile. And I feel like this is a fertile season where you can start to birth and bring a certain sense of sensual brilliance into this realm and reality that is actually from an alternate timeline or dimension. And that's something that can be advanced for you depending on what kind of Virgo you are. And then it's also something that you're actually innately connected to on your shadow side of Pisces. So Janelle, how can we help use your energy and your abilities to open up these channels for Virgos to receive?
Well, first of all, that was a really good rundown of the period for them, because I'm getting pretty much the same wave energetically. Notice I'm saying wave. There's a lot of emotions flying around, so I know that this is the Virgo here, but I do want to let you know, energetically speaking, the minute that we started or you started talking, I felt Sagittarius energy. And you mentioned, oh, I'm feeling a little intertwined right now. And I was like, there it is. And so what I'm getting for you guys, whoever this message is for, you're coming through with this very Aquarian card, the star. You're coming through because you are not feeling as confident, or you may not be feeling as confident or as grounded. I want to like give you a hug right now, and also say that you really need a cheerleader. And the reason why, and I'm going to nip it in the bud with this, the reason why you're going through this right now is because you're going through deep energetic structural change. Whenever I do this, I know that this is all alchemical, etheric surgery, template work, energetic anatomy. You're going through something very deep and structural. And the way in a non-physical space, and the way that that is translating for you in your physical space is feeling of like, almost like, not who am I, but feeling a little bit alone, feeling lost. You're just in a liminal state, and that's all you have to recognize right now. So Pernell Bobby actually talked about, and actually included in your rundown, mention about the stage that you're moving into. And I think that that was very, very on the nose here, because again, right now we find you in a liminal state, not feeling as confident, feeling a little lonely, feeling a little run down. Look how lonely she's sitting here. But that's only because you're not yourself so much right now. You're vibing like mixture of Cancerian energies. There's a lot of emotions in the air. And I'm saying Cancerian specifically because I'm not getting Pisces vibe here. I'm not getting Scorpionic vibes. I'm getting Cancerian vibes. And you are vibing like a Sagittarius, and not the most optimistic one, the philosophical one, the one that's stopping and that's thinking and not going so deep, you know. But I'm also getting the Aquarius in you. But I want to let you know, if you can feel this aqua, and I don't know if it's somewhere in your chart also, double down on that, because the Aquarian energies are going to pull you with mastery through to your next stage. Aquarians shapeshift like nobody else, right? They're ghosting from here to where they need to be, and that's what you're going to rely on. Your Sagittarian energies make you feel like really alone and out there. You need to have your people. Right now you don't have your people because you're in this space. It's a liminal space. And the Cancerian energies, the grief that I'm feeling is just the loneliness that you're feeling as a result. So what you are experiencing right now is a level of mastery and self-reflection. So don't feel so lost. Understand, turn yourself back towards yourself and say, oh, I'm just feeling grief because I don't know what's going on with me. Oh, I'm feeling, listless because I don't have my tribe here. Oh, I'm feeling like I'm out here, but that's where my mastery is. I just have to trust. So the key to getting to unlocking your Aquarian, this Aquarian energy that's going to pull you in, I'm going to say, is to get grounded. Strangely, get grounded in who you are, and not who you are in the sense that, because I don't know who I am right now, which is understandable because you're in this liminal state, but grounding in the fact that who we really are has nothing to do with the personality that we've taken on in this lifetime. You roll into a session with me and I'm showing you this lifetime against the last lifetime, you were like even, somebody that you'd say was an enemy to you today in this lifetime. So remember, who you are is above and beyond. And who better to understand this message than the Aquarian messenger, which shows up in the elements. I don't know about you, but sometimes it's air, sometimes it's lightning, sometimes it's water for me. It depends on the task that they have. And right now, you're vibing like air as you collect yourself with this message, just as the conscious mind notice to say, hey, this, you're packaging up, and then boom, lightning. So you're going to be shooting off somewhere else. So have some hot tea and just chill. You're all right.
Nice. Yeah, we had in the chat a 0 degrees MC in Virgo, and I have the same MC. I'm literally 0 degree Virgo. So I feel like that whole message I resonated with, because I can tell you from a personal standpoint of that Virgo, like through my MC, I have been feeling like, I'm going through mad emotions, and not all of them make sense. Like, actually, most of them don't. And it's the kind of thing where, like, the best I've been able to do, and I think I told Janelle this recently, like, I just been meditating more than I ever had. Like, I've been sitting still more than I ever had. And things have been coming through in ways like that are tough to keep up with. But Virgo, I will say this, remember that you have one of the fastest processors at the mental level. And so you can keep up with it if you're getting rid of the things that don't need to be there right now, and take the time to ground into these messages. And like she said, right now it could be a little cloudy with a little bit of winds and cloud. And actually it's been a little cloudy here, and there's been very little rain, but more than it has. It's been dry, but those lightning storms have been approaching. And so Virgo, hear that part. The change is coming. I feel that tremendously. We are not who we are in this moment. And the 11th house shows that we are clearly connected to a cosmic consciousness. And let that Aquarian energy, like you said, help us to shape shift. And you as a mutable sign, Virgo, can also shift. You can change. That's why Virgo risings can be perfect spies. Sometimes you never know they're that. And other times they're very obvious. It just depends. But that said,
can I just add one more thing?
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. I just want to say, because so for those of you who do follow my channel, you know, and especially if you've had readings with me, you know that we talk here at the conscious mind level, but sometimes the messages that are coming through are for aspects of you that are interdimensional, right? And so this is a message that's coming through for the interdimensional aspects of some of you who are watching as well. And the message is you're going through DNA changes right now. So this idea of the Aquarian energy is packaging you up, just like how before a cell like divides, we have to package up all of the DNA and the chromosomes into something packageable that can be moved. And then we see those little guys pulled together as little X's and Y's, and then boom, into the next state. And then they get to open up back again. So the only thing I'll say to leave off is you did mention, Pernell, about Virgos processing and having that mental processing. I would say, yes, you can rely on that for right now, but you're being strongly asked to mind what you're doing with your mind. If you're going to use your mind to ruminate and to fixate, this is not the state of mind that you need to be in. And in fact, you're asked to be more grounded. And who's more grounded than a Virgo, right? But grounding in the sense like meditating, like you said. So, and for boxing for somebody.
You said what?
And boxing. For somebody here, their grounding is boxing. Don't think, oh, I'm going to go ground and float in a pool. Sometimes water is not grounding for people. And I feel that that's the case here for you guys. And yeah, I'm
boxing
getting
more this week.
There it is. You got to box it out. But Aquarians, like, I don't want any of that water stuff. So don't, if you're like going to like soak in a tub or something to ground yourself, don't do it, because you're about to get the shock. And no one wants to be in water element, like heavy boxing.
No, I get it. Man, I tell you, like, I've been having to hit that box. I've been having to throw my headphones on, hit the right tunes and hit that box. And I'm telling you, like, I've been noticing, I've been hitting that. First off, I haven't been boxing much. It's usually, it comes back out during the hotter seasons. And pretty much before, like, 2 weeks ago, I haven't boxed for months and months and months. Like, but I got this message, and I feel like this is going to be important for the rest of y'all. There's so much heat and physical aggression that is needing an outlet for those Virgos, because like I said in the beginning, y'all been going through so much death, so much identity death, physical death, transformational deaths at the psyche level, as well as through your personality and how you identify. There's been so much death. And right now there's an excess of physical energy that you can't think through, right? Like you can't think yourself through. It's gonna make you sick. It's gonna make you feel sick. And I have been feeling, like she said, that boxing, it has been one of the things where, you know, my partner was like, I wanted to go play basketball for weeks, and she's like, and things keep coming up. And it's the kind of thing where I haven't been able to do physical activities with other people because the amount of aggression right now is not meant for others to get hurt. You don't want to be hurting yourself or hurt others right now. So that's why boxing and just me in the bag, right? Where you can hit that thing as hard as you want. And you're going to be good. You're going to be safe. Nobody's going to jail. Nobody's going to the hospital, right? What I'm trying to say is this transformation is next level powerful. And so respect it like that. And that way, everybody walks away home and you walk away powerfully. All right, Virgo, if you made it this far, if you enjoyed this message, this angelic grid work, the healing that Janelle was giving out, do hit the thumbs up and the likes button. Do drop that Virgo down below and drop that lightning sign. You don't get this one often, but it's coming. Know that that shock and that shift is coming, and it's coming faster than we may be able to process. So we're going to ground into it, and whatever grounding means for you as an individual. All right, Virgo? So pleasure, pleasure, pleasure. Okay, Libra. With that said, I also want to remind us real quick, June 16th, we're doing the healing on the lungs, okay? So don't forget about that. There are plenty of benefits there. There's a one-time link where you can join our membership. Okay, so Libra.
Hey.
Ooh, Libra, I'm feeling a little spark from you. You got a little jazz in your blood right now, right? I felt tap dancing. I feel that will come out as for why and what that was about sooner than soon, okay? Venus and Cancer, Mercury and Cancer. These are run through your 10th house. The 10th house of maturity, okay? The 10th house of making methodical and closing type decisions, okay? When I say closing type decisions, I'm speaking, beneficial contracts that put you in a whole new bracket, right? It's like the moment you sign on that dotted line, you no longer are in the bracket below the mountain. You're in the bracket at the top, right, Libra? And it separates you, right? So you yourself are contracts, but 10th house is also contract. So the difference between like 7th house contracts is like, oh, we got married, right? But the 10th house contract is I'm now married on paper, right? It's the earth house, it's physical. Now we physically went to the town hall and I physically got married, right? Not the aesthetic pleasure where you have the ring and you get to show it off. That's the 7th house marriage. That's the Libra marriage. You get to show off that nice ring, that pretty ring. This is a getting very serious type level contract. Now, this can also be karmic contracts. So it doesn't have to be physical in the material 3D world. This can be karmic contracts that you are now making with alternate and angelic sources of light. I'm getting some kind of water god, whoever that is. There's some water god or goddess that is involved, whether Poseidon, the Mintaka, whatever. Some water entity is forming for you. And now Venus in Cancer is a water sign, right? Mercury is a water sign. And Mercury is one of the things that you are naturally, let me make sure I'm not BSing with that. Yeah, you're naturally part of the 12th house. All Libras have part 12th house there. So you have the ability to kind of manage and balance out the thoughts between heaven and hell. All right, that's one way to look at it. Or from this realm and that realm, right? You're the middle ground. You're the one that can mediate the information, and you have the ability to be posh enough to speak in ways that Aquarians cannot. And so we have that Pluto and Aquarius, and I feel like that Pluto and Aquarius is something where, they're next level advanced in their cosmic intelligence, but they don't always like talking to people. And you can listen to Aquarius as a fellow air sign, and you can say what Aquarius doesn't want to say, because they just don't always want to connect. Sometimes they get too isolated and they forget how to come out of that isolation. where they can bring that cosmic wisdom, but you can actually mediate it and disseminate it. And I feel like it's going to have you signing some different contracts. Karmic contracts, soul contracts, physical contracts. All right. I feel it's going to be a little bit of both. Now, with this 8th house in this 1st house, okay, Venus is one of your natural ruling planets, right? So that's why the 1st house is there. Now, the 8th house for you is about becoming deeply intimate. Now, the question is with what? Deeply intimate with that contract, that soul contract, or physical? Okay. I don't know. That's up to you. Deeply intimate with your psychological processes, right? Venus in Cancer is one of those things that it brings in that ability to check in with your impulse that you get from the divine and pause on it and be still with it. And that 10th house is saying, we're going to help you be wise and methodical and actually, not allow the monkey mind to distract and stray you from the best decision, the most efficient decision that you need to make. And I feel this is key what it's about. It's not about full effectiveness. It's about efficiency. Because Capricorn, the 10th house energy is about using what you already have in the most efficient way. And that 8th house is about killing off certain assets or resources that you have that are actually unnecessary so that you can focus and clarify what is of absolute pertinence. So I feel now Janelle's going to help us finish the channel message with what are they in the process of losing and contracting, bringing them to a complete efficiency.
Yeah, you said it 100%. Yeah, you were in your bag. I'm not even needed right now. Well, I have some good news for Libra. Libra, I know you might, First of all, this one hits home because with my stellium in Libra, I'm practically a Libra. Libra and Capricorn, that's just me, forget everything else. So I want to let you know at this time, the good news is no matter what you think, no matter what you perceive is going on outside of you and with all of your learning, like, oh, well, my friend said that this is that. I remember my parents said, so this is that. Whatever lens you're using to look at what's going on for you right now, I want you right now gently to just disconnect from all of that, because you too, like Virgo, are going through a transformational shift in your life. But the beautiful thing, Virgo was riding on that energy of Aquarius, but you are being divinely moved. And this is a beautiful thing. What that means is you have an alliance right now with members in spirit. And you possibly have some destiny points going on in your life in general to help with this, where you're just naturally being moved. So I wouldn't be surprised for a lot of you if you're like, oh, I'm getting a new job, or I'm finding a new apartment, or I'm getting a new car, or I'm changing relationships, or I'm meeting new people, or whatever it is that you are going through. You don't have to be in control of that right now. So we talked a little bit about human design earlier, and I'm not going to segue into a modality that I am not an expert on. But reason why I brought human design up is because it talks about, it shows you based on your body and all of that, your body graph, how best to use your strategy and your type, how best to navigate this world. And so here, for some people, based on what you've got defined or undefined, you don't have to put in to the process. The process will move you in and of itself. Right now, you're in a process where whatever transformation you're doing, things are falling into place. So the question now is, well, what do I have to do in this process? Because since God is taking care of it, and won't he do it, right? Since that's what's happening here, what am I supposed to do? I see very, very quietly, very cleanly and clearly, you just sweeping up where you've been. So if you're changing locations, make sure that you energetically clean the space, not taking responsibility for the whole geopathic stress area that's just there because of the space, but clear up your stuff, clear up your mind, start the disconnection process, do the cord cutting that's necessary, make peace with the home, bring in, elementals to assist with blessing, whatever it is that you need to do that. If it's a matter of a job, for example, I feel that you're going to have to pull back a little bit, and then when you get the time to go, then you put in your letter of resignation, for example. So you're going to be doing this Libra. Libra, you're like really great with, you know, connecting with people, right? So you're not out here alone. You're in this alliance, but it's a divine alliance. So the dance that you're doing requires you to know when to move. And when you do actually move, you don't even have to think about the how to move. Your only job is to have the integrity. If you're moving, clean up. Be a nice person. Be kind. If you're going to a new job, put in the letter of resignation. Say thank you for blah, blah, blah. And you mentioned brackets. And I'm like, please, dear God, let it be about me. Because when we talk about brackets, that's a nod to jobs. And remember, I told you I've been doing a lot of, like, when it rains, it pours. Like, I'm working a lot of stuff right now. So things are in the works. So lucky Libra is what I'm saying, because you don't have to do much than to take care of your end of things. And it's a very light cleaning up of things, doing your soul contract cord cutting. But most importantly, do not go where you should not be going. Meaning this is a time to be a little bit more passive and let spirit lead. Not like, oh, I want to do this. I'm going to go do that because I think I need to do this because I'm trying to do this. And so no, you wait to respond, you know, Manny Jens, you know, just shout out, but you wait to respond to what comes to you. And then you vet it and you move forward. No drama. Libra might be hard for some of you. No me, I'm not. I like to hear other people, but I don't want any drama in my life. But some Libras, right? the tea, right? Both of us just drinking right now. But it's easy. It's a 1-2 step. You don't have to do anything. Let spirit carry you. And here's your card. Boom. Miracles. Of course, in Miracles teaches us a miracle is merely a change in perception. You don't have to do anything. It occurs for you. And so it is. That's us.
There you go. We got the angelic grid work happening. All right. For everybody out here, shout out to Janelle. If you're on this channel, go check out her channel. Remember, coming up, Libras. All right. On June 16th, we're having that one-off class. We're healing the lungs through Qigong, Tai Chi, energy healing. All right. You can either join the membership or you could join the one-time link. So both of those exist. Take a moment to kind of read this. We hope you can see for Earth when the souls are bringing divine information from the source. You both are on it. We appreciate your amazing chemistry and the compliments Libra relationship. A long time. Hey now, what up? I appreciate you, Ra, for sharing that energy. Pisces Alchemist, I've seen you as well earlier while the energy is moving. I'm loving being a Pisces, preparing this whole time. Bam. It's a challenging time for so many others, yet Pisces have already gone through so much that hasn't broken. I've been seeing Pisces winning huge lately. They've been winning like a mother. It's your season. And the reason why is because Saturn is in Pisces. So all your dreams are now starting to form because you've put a certain amount of discipline and responsibility to your etheric abilities to manifest. And that's where, you know, you may understand the spiritual principles by default innately, but the spiritual principles has to meet the principles of physical reality, which is Saturn. And that's why y'all been winning and y'all been removing delusions and illusions, okay, certain fantasies, to hone in the right fantasy, and that's that Neptune and Pisces. So y'all been going through a tremendous time. By 2025, y'all gonna be completely unrecognizable.
Mature Neptune and Pisces. That's maturity for a Pisces energy flow. Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay, so here we go. I don't even know what I'm feeling for y'all. I'm feeling a bunch of stuff like, ooh. That was the first one I felt, and then it just got excited. I don't know what's going on. I really don't even, I don't have any, I just, I feel a little nervousness in the chest. I kind of feel like it's a little bit, maybe like, was it Virgo? But the nervousness feels like excitement, right? A little bit under the heart chakra. So before even looking at the forecast, I'm kind of feeling off the rip that your solar plexus has been bleeding. And that bleeding out has been so that you can move up into the heart. And it's kind of been a little bit of both, like bleeding out ambitions, I would say potentially old ambitions, old forms of being power hungry and critical of your work and of your light and how you shine in your emotional world. And as you move into the heart, I'm kind of feeling like you're at this excitement point because you know that that optimism is the way. It's on the horizon. It's a part of the horizon. It feels light. It feels fun. It feels like a journey. It feels exciting. It's a little nerve-wracking because there is some dark and unknown pieces to what's going on for you, Scorpio. But I will say that Venus in Cancer and Mercury in Cancer running through your ninth house, is bringing in a certain watery touch that is helping you to wash away the certain fixed parts of your nature. And the ninth house is helping you to actually change, dilute, transform, and even transfigure, literally creating alchemizing a completely new shape to something that was previously in the process of dying out, which again, that's your Venus and Gemini, right, was running through your eighth house. And now Cancer is running through that ninth house that you see on the screen. So that's that alchemization process for all my Scorpio risings, where you're stepping during this June 17th to July 7th, the more optimistic understanding of the story of your transformation, the story of your shift, the story that you have now gained through the wisdom of experiencing, okay, that transmission and that transformation. Now, this is huge happening in your relating and dating and connecting and contracting and just writing out your thoughts. This sector of your life has been going through that transformation, and now through I would say the writing right now for you is probably the most important. Like you writing out your thoughts, your pains, your loss, okay, your expenses. Excuse me, that was a big one. Excuse me. Write your expenses, whatever that's about. Write your expenses, and that will ultimately help you become more optimistic about whatever debts you may be experiencing. Okay, whether physical, monetary debts, and I feel even more deeply about energetic debts. Like you may need to be write out your energetic debts to bring clarity to the entanglement, to the enmeshment of, you know, your emotions tied intimately to another thing, another person, another place, okay, another thought pattern, another belief, right? Another relationship, another emotion that you're tied to that's not yours, that's just part of the collective. I feel like you writing will just help you clarify where it's coming from, what you've latched onto somehow, some way. And ultimately, it's going to bring you a tremendous amount of joy, passion, excitement, life, vitality, okay, vigor, courage, adventure, a sense of adventure within new relationship dynamics that have the proper emotional boundaries. I would say the emotional, social boundaries necessary for you to actually stay in integrity, how you prefer, and find justice, divine justice in your relationships. And I just got like, oh, snap for you. Like, I feel like right now, Janelle, I feel for them, there's something here that is still tingling that maybe Janelle can help open up this particular channel, these meridian points, so that their energy can hit that etheric surgery and they can walk forward.
Yeah, just you bringing, I feel it in myself here. So first of all, I want to let you know, yeah, I can see your comments. Yeah, spill the tea. This is tea with a TEA, all caps. First of all, you're talking about justice energies. We've got that here. We've got everything. You get something, everyone gets something. Okay. I don't even know where to start. The first thing I want to say is, Scorpio, you're giving me Libra vibes right now, heavy for some reason, okay? But your takeaway today is this. If you take nothing away, take this, Scorpio, and also Libra, just they're bringing you guys in. Let the right one in, okay? Now, I don't know if anyone's seen the movie Let the Right One In, the Scandinavian version. Obviously, that was so good. So when we talk, it was about a young girl vampire. Anyway, so when we talk about let the right one in, we're talking about exercising due diligence, which you talked about, Pernell, when it comes to relationships, whether it's romantic, whether it's partnership in the career sector, this and that. Let the right one in, exercise due diligence in what comes in, because you are poised, very strong Libra vibes again for some of you, but you are poised right now to, make your mark on the world. Now, what that mark is going to look like, or how large it's going to be, or where it's going to occur out in the world is going to be dependent upon you and what's going on in your own individual chart. But that being said, I do notice that you are a water sign, but right now you're not going to be moving heavy on water. See, we have the Queen, is this the Queen of Hearts? Yeah, excuse me, the Queen of Cups in the reverse. So while you do have a water element to you, I'm feeling that right now you're being moved so strong by the divine. Oh, that's why I'm feeling Libra energy too. But your movement comes with contracts. You see this here? And look at this King of Wands representing the divine poking you with that hot rod. There's a nod also to romance. For some of you, they're just saying, if you want a hot rod, this is a shout out to Salt and Pepper. If you know, you know, then you have to, exercise due diligence, they're saying. So, wow, so many messages. Okay, thanks for your patience. So right now, like Libra, you're being divinely moved, period. That's it, period. Your job is to understand that you need to be able to vet whatever's coming in, because I see one of many contracts. This is the King of Pentacles representing one contract that's going to be fruitful. Now, it could be in any sector of your life. It could be in romance, it could be in finances. We know all this, right? And then you'll have, I'm getting 8. You'll even probably have 8 more. And this is the vibe that's coming in right now. And so you want to let the right one in. And I can't remember what you said, but I don't know if you touched upon maturity and boundaries and things like that, and understanding
social emotional boundaries.
Yes, social emotional boundaries, and understanding contracts above and below as well, and understanding that they operate differently within whatever realm it's going to be. We see this in lifetimes as well. You could totally have had like a lover in a past lifetime, and in this lifetime they're a family member, right? So we're understanding that the dynamic may be one that is experienced differently at a higher level, but down here you have to adhere to the social, I guess, I don't know, what did you say?
Social emotional boundaries, but also I'm feeling etiquette right now, like the social etiquette.
Libra, these energies are like, there's no, even when I do my collective readings, I put a sign on it because people like to look for the sign, but every sign is a collective reading for everybody.
You have full permission on what I say next. You have full permission because I'm a Scorpio rising, and so I feel like you already kind of got insight on this. Remember when I was doing that spirit work at the event, and you told me, oh, the one next to you could have been a wife from a past life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And like I said, you have permission to elaborate on that as an example for other people, because I feel like this is right on point.
Yeah. Okay. So, can I use that example in particular? Or
for sure. Yeah. No.
For all the laundry out now. All right.
I feel fine on that.
Yeah, so that person who was working to the left of you, I felt was more of your, they're saying spiritual wife from another lifetime, right? I noticed now you're on your left, your partner, right? So anything that's going on in this space is a spiritual wife, but they just want to bring that in. But also at the event that you were working with, you had to the left of you 2 people that I was picking up on. A woman who was a wife, and the other one was a daughter. And I do believe you guys were actually a family in that other lifetime. And in that other lifetime, you and this wife person, this lady, you guys used to do similar get-togethers. It may have been named something else. It may have been in a different area or something, expressing in whatever time period it was. But this is not your first rodeo. And so that's why it was so easy for you guys energetically to hold up the space. You went to that event thinking, oh, it's a tarot event. Let me come and maybe it'll be nice. I'm going as a guest, but maybe it might be nice to see if I can read. But when I felt into the energy, that was your event. You came in there, grandfather energy. You and these other people who were doing the tarot readings for others, some of them were your students from another lifetime. So here you were showing up in the space, in the 3D, thinking that you were just here to have an event and maybe take a booth or something. But actually you were coming to see how they were moving in the space, give them information. So anyway, long story short, the reason why this story is important is that we move energetically in alignment with each other with certain characteristics that are already there. So whatever that relationship is that's already there, we still have to, while we're in this realm, move in this physical realm, move in alignment with the social boundaries that are required of it. Yeah, you may have been married to that person like 10 times in another lifetime. In this lifetime, if they're your son or your daughter, like, what are we doing, right? There has to be an adjustment. And sometimes this is why things like shadow work and also kind of, learning how to be in the world can be helpful so that you don't end up getting into these messy situations. We see it all the time in romantic relationships. And it's like, oh no, actually that was your, family member, and that's why the familiarity is there. So sorry, I didn't mean to go off the tangent, but that's what I wanted to let.
I think it was important. I think it was important for Scorpios because I feel like what you said in that experience, it's highly complex, okay, to the rational mind, okay, especially to the lower mind, because on the lower mind, that now could be somebody you think, oh, she's hitting on me, let me receive this, and that turns into something, like I said, that illusion could turn into something that is not. Right. And so I feel like that's important right now for Scorpios to recognize, because it kind of goes back to that entanglement that I said, where not all entanglements are bad. Right. Like, just the word has a negative connotation, but it's like through alternate past lifetimes, with that being the wife, that entanglement now was the comfort blanket for me to step into a completely different society. Right. Other than my own, literally ninth house. Right. A completely different society other than my own, where a foreign language was being spoken. And it's interesting because this wife of mine, she spoke English, but we only spoke Spanish that entire time. Right? Like, her husband in this life was American. He's American. He speaks.
He's feeling uncomfortable for some reason in the space.
Huh?
He was probably feeling uncomfortable in the space for some reason. Like, why am I
he wasn't there.
Not comfortable?
He wasn't physically there. He wasn't physically there. But he spoke only English, right? And so obviously English was easier for me, but her and I only spoke Spanish. So my point is, some of these energetic contracts are already kind of showing, like in this instance, this ninth house, I'm being also required and asked in order to step into this realm and abide by these particular contracts and marriage from a past life that challenges me to make sure that I continue to practice and focus even on the mastery of my Spanish so that I can do these events more frequent. You see what I'm saying? Among others. So I feel like this is, y'all use that story, Scorpio, and apply it to your life and start to see people that you interact with your third eye and with your crown chakra of understanding, right? Divine, loving, and universal understanding, and, intuitive wisdom through who is this person energetically representing, without trying to attach to the logic understanding of, well, what life are they from? Or, well, what do I owe them? Or what's the contract about? Forget that and stick on the more magic side of this, and you're going to open up tremendous possibilities. So, Scorpio, we're going to move on because we gave you a ton of energy.
Because I could go on about that. I could feel the messiness already.
I know. It felt tangled right away, right? So here's your angelic grid work. All right. Thank y'all for hitting that thumbs up and that likes button. Do remember that on the next Sunday, the 16th, we are going to be meeting, doing the lung healing, all right, with the Qigong and energetic work. That said, if you Scorpios, if you were here, I want you to just drop down. I want you to drop the Scorpion. I don't tell you this often because I know the Scorpion has whatever kind of energy. I want you to drop the Scorpion because I feel like right now there's an etheric attachment that is positive for you. Right? I feel like we always talk about toxic relationships for Scorpio when it comes to attachment, but I feel like this is a positive attachment. So drop that Scorpion because it's in its fun and fiery energy of the Scorpio rather than its feeling burned energy, right? Because I don't feel that. You're not scorned. So don't mistake that as the illusion. You're not scorned. But people will try to take those contracts and step into place when they don't belong. So do you, okay? All right, here we go. We got... Yup. I don't know why it's Sash, but I'm feeling like it's time to shake that ass. Like, I don't know what that's about. It's gonna be, but we're gonna break it down. We're gonna get to the center of that, okay? It feels like it's time to shake that ass for some reason, okay? Now here we go. 8th house is a physical house, okay? You're ruling your 6th house, another energy of physical, right? This is the physical environment, more specifically, the physical exchanges that you are making, like Hermes, the messenger between the gods. And the 11th house is the literal gods, right? They are the gods sending the messages. So right now, you're in the space of delivering messages from the gods into your physical body. Now, 8th house is a private house. It's a house of psycho-analytical and psycho-emotional connection, okay, to something that really deeply, intimately matters to you, something you feel a craving, a pull, a desire, a deep, insatiable desire to connect to. And I feel like right now you're having a deep, insatiable desire to connect to the divine and the environment around you. Venus in Cancer, okay, is going to truly help this by making your environment feel safe. So what I'm kind of getting for you, Sagittarius, first off rip, during this transit, you really want to rearrange your home, and within your home space, become more intimate with the things and how you actually rearrange your assets, okay? Your couch, your bed, right? Your table, your chair, your plant, right? Especially the things alive, like the plant, okay? Or a water fountain, you know, if you have like a little geisha or something, I don't know. Anything like that, running water sources, a diffuser with the mist coming, stuff like that. Put them and rearrange them. The best I can recommend is like Vastu, if you're into Vedic, or Feng Shui from the Chinese. These are all the same, okay? Energetically repositioning the items and pieces in your home so that they either gain more light, maybe certain things need less light, maybe your couch. Like I had to do this. I had to move my couch from under the stairs and I put it in a different spot where when it was there, we never sat in a chair. It was like we had space being taken up that wasn't being used. I moved the chair to a different area. I sit in there all the time now. Now I meditate and now it's a happy place for me. So Sag, just the first thing I'm kind of getting. And I feel like what's happening is wherever the items in your home are right now, they seem like they have been entrenched. They have been drowning. They have been suffocated. And it is taking up space where that space can be better utilized. It's not even saying you have to get rid of it. I'm just kind of getting, you might need to move it. And somehow, some way, what that's going to do is it's going to unclog the trapped emotions that are in your physical body, but also in your environment around you, okay? This, for you as a transit, I also recommend that you do a little extra saging, charcoal, let that charcoal off, Palo Santo, whatever it is, incense. I'm feeling like right now it's going to help you to move the unseen, subtle energies that have been trapped and stuck in certain particular areas in your home and your environment, but also in this mental space to allow you to cleanse and clear your thoughts and bring them from the underworld thoughts into the optimistic God frequency or Christ consciousness, okay? And it's a little bit of both of those. So, Sag, this is what I'm getting. I want to hear from Janelle.
Wow, you hit the nail on the head. I was getting two main themes coming through for our lovely Sag group. One of those is health, and I believe, isn't that like a sixth house thing? I do not do any astrology, so that's my
It is health. It's health. It's health.
I feel like I remember that. And I was also getting a nod to environment. So first I wanted to talk about the health. The first thing I felt is immediately gut issues. No, not gut issues, but stomach issues. So we're talking about the solar plexus area. I'm seeing a lot of yellow needing to kind of come in there, but there's a very, very strong connection at this time between, or during this period, between your health and your environment. Now, the reason why you're feeling so like in the gut area, or so I keep saying the gut, but maybe for some of you it does extend to the gut area and, you know, that GI area. But the reason why is because I'm seeing you really hunched over. You're small. And I noticed that the 11th house, we know you mentioned angelic forces. This is a card that's coming out for you here. Yeah, look at you. You're getting ready to like lift off. I'm getting in the next 2 months though for you guys, the lifting off from where you are. But look at how you're occupying your space right now. You're tiny. You're an angelic being in this tiny space here. Look how she's hunched over. No matter she's having, no wonder she's having these issues with her stomach. So you really, really, really are being asked in alignment with spirit. Because see this, if you need your help, some of you need shamanic help, right? And you also listed resources like the feng shui, all of that. This is the help. Some of you need to do bring some type of other system in or helper in who represents another system to help you. And they're saying a nod to Sagittarius, that foreign element coming in here, right? This is how you know I'm channeling, because I don't study astrology like that, right? But you need to bring something foreign in to help you manage your space. Look at this card that's also coming out for you. Look at her managing her space, because you are needing to lift off soon in the next 2 months. Now let's take a look at what is in your space. What's occupying your space? You as this angelic being here. I'm seeing the Seven of Swords deception card. So in a sense, we're looking at the trail. I'm seeing that some of you could just literally, wherever you are right now, look around your room and find the items that will show you a trail of disaster is what I'm getting. A trail of depression, a trail of whatever. Oh, who, for example, I'm not saying this picture, but who gave me that picture? Oh, I've had a falling out with that person, right? But yet I still have the picture up. Don't you think that that's also reflecting back to me some of the turmoil that I experienced at that time, which just reflects my own energy inside, but it's like blasting me all day with that in the back of my mind. So the point is, clean up your area. And this does not necessarily feel like a geopathic thing where it could be for some, but it feels very much like just clean up the items, rearrange things, bring something new into this space. And I'll leave you here with 2 points. An analogy for this is like, because it's starting to affect your mind is what I'm getting. A good analogy is like a computer. If you have a virus on your computer, the computer can't clear itself. You need to introduce something from outside, like let's say an antivirus, to bring, like Norton antivirus, it's the only one I know, but to come in and to clean it all up. Now, who best to let in, I'm just saying, than the good Lord himself, whatever that represents to you. It doesn't have to be religious. It could be your higher self. It could be the way, whatever you want to do, bring it in. The second thing and the final thing that I'm going to say for you guys is that you really should do it, because right now you are basically, it's leading to a contamination, or it's fostering, let's say, that contamination in your energetic anatomy. This is the 9 of Swords. It's the card of depression, right? To me, this is the crying in the car, crying in the shower. Now, you may be like, but I had a great day yesterday, Jay. But I just want to let you know that actually inside, somewhere in your energetic anatomy, there's a crying out that's going on, a grief. Now, wouldn't you like to just clean it up by taking care of what's going on outside of you? So that's why, to wrap up, I wanted to let you know that this month you got to, or this period, you want to focus on 3 things: your health, understanding that your health is responding to the environment that you have right now. I know I'm holding up 4 fingers and I don't know why, right? And the third thing is that you will have outside assistance to bring this in, either in the form of like a system like feng shui, or like you mentioned some other ones, or by some working with a practitioner like a shaman to really get in there. In that case, whoever needs to get in there, it's in your gut, and it's also extending to your root chakra right now as well. So once you, oh, that's the 4th element. Once you thresh this, I just see you lifting off, and that's why we saw this card here. Wow. That's what I'm getting for you guys here. God bless you.
Yeah. No, it resonates tremendously.
That. Notice they just said, God bless you. They said a prayer over you. Somebody, you got help. You got there. Yeah.
Mad help. No, mad help. And it's just time. It's time to see it. And it's also time to see that was it 8 of Cups? No, 8 of Swords?
Oh, the little angel? That would be the 8 of Swords, mental. Oh, but there's nuance to that, by the way. Sorry not to cut you, but the nuance of the 8 of Swords is that there is a way out. You're not, and I think that was the key. That situation.
That was the key that I saw. If you really looked at that card, if you mind showing that card, or is it too late? It's already shuffled.
Yeah.
If you no, don't worry about it. If y'all saw the picture enough, if y'all saw that card, the gate at the top of the angel's head was cracked open. And so this is the golden cage, right? Like, you actually already have the key. You're actually not locked up, right? And I think that was the key thing.
And depending on what level of awareness and consciousness you are, I think that's usually marked by the level to which you can recognize your own agency and autonomy, personal responsibility. But depending on what level of awareness you are, you'll realize that cage, who put that cage there? It was you.
Ooh. I think that
responsibility.
I think that really mattered. No, I think that really mattered. And that's that part of the Scorpio 8th house that is very personal still. So obviously, sorry, not Scorpio. Obviously, Sag, if that resonates with you, you can go see Janelle on one of her energetic healings. You can come see me. That service will mostly look like Angelic Reiki on my website, based off of what I'm hearing her say, right? And so that's that. Sag, if you made it here, give us that arrow in the chat. All right, whether you watch this on replay or now, letting us know you made it to the end of your forecast, that you're aiming, you're shooting high, you're going to step out of that cage, you're going to fly high, you're going to let those angel wings soar. All right, Sagittarius. And beyond that, remember, this is your grid work healing on the resistance you may be experiencing next Sunday coming up. This may be something that will help benefit you, to help also clear out those lungs and any of the resistance going on. So, Sag, you are done. You're all set. You're able to fly free during that transit. We have Cat. Oh, what up, Cat?
Cards already flying.
Yep. What up, Cat? Okay, so you're already flying. Capricorn. I mean, for me, first things first, the fact that she said the cards are already flying, that's your 5th house right here that you see, right? This is you freeing yourself at the heart level, right? When I say heart level, I'm talking about the parts of your heart that wants to experience brilliance, radiance, joy, okay? Inner child expressions. Now, the key is in what area or department is it potentially happening within your business connectionships. And because you're such a business-oriented type energy in general, Capricorn, I really do feel like this is about inviting more fun and more joy and more play in your business connections. Realizing that, business is business. Sometimes it's best cold, cut, and dry. Maybe that's just an old world thought and belief. And that's a different story. You can play with that on your own. But what I do feel is, regardless, some of your clientele that you are engaged with, no matter what your business, entrepreneurial, corporate America, or otherwise, is asking to invite a little more fun and mix in the fun and the inner child joy with the needs for certain serious preparation to happen, right? Because Venus in Cancer, Mercury in Cancer, Cancer is a preparatory sign, right? It likes to prepare, all right? It likes to over-prepare, if anything. It becomes overly protective, if anything. And so Capricorn, I think the key with this transit is you're going to come into terms with the kind of rest and stillness you need in order to properly prepare your connections and your relationships in a way that you feel personally liberated, in a way that your willpower feels it has the freedom to be sensitive for others, but also to fully still respect yourself while you are involved and invested in a collective mission to free the people, to free those suffering, to free those in chains and bondage, to free the people of the lower world in some way, shape, or form. Capricorn, this is all part of your natural duties and joy as a servant of karma itself, as a servant of implementing certain restrictions and boundaries so that they can actually invite more joy. And I feel the key thing with this is the preparation, whatever you are preparing with the Venus in Cancer, the value systems, the monies, right? The simple pleasures, whatever you're preparing, you must remember that you're not just preparing them for other people, for the ones you're breaking free, but for yourself. And for yourself in connection, in relation to the others. And you're the one I feel can't be forgotten in this particular dynamic. Because again, Cancer, if you remember, Cancer is still a personal sign, right? So Venus in Cancer, Mercury is still a very personal energy to yourself. To not allow other people to gaslight you, you have to become more intimately understanding of your own emotional world. When the people in your relationships and client interactions understand and are more empathetic with you than what you are with yourself, that is the space and place where they can begin to alter your mindset and tamper with your social inner reality. As for feeding you something that they think that you'll like because they understand your inner world better than you. And this can become very harmful and detrimental for your business connections. But Cancer, I feel, is going to help you become more aware of your own internal garden, how to water it, when to water it, why you need to water it, so that you can essentially recognize when a relationship is out of integrity ahead of time, in real time, not when it's too late, not when they become an enemy of society, an enemy of the state, an enemy of your internal space. So Janelle, what kind of esoteric surgery are you able to do on the people in this moment to help them alleviate, relieve, and walk into integrity-based relationships that makes their heart happy?
Wow, that was so well said. In fact, the cards, they started flying at the beginning, but then I had to just put them down to the side because right now for you Capricorns, you guys are being asked to just do one thing at a time. So when you were talking, and I have a lot of Capricorn energy in me, and plus the messages are flowing through me, so I felt it. I had to just stop and just take in the information. But while I was, and the reason why you're going to be having to do that during this period, guys, is because I do feel that there's going to be information that's coming in. And as this information comes into your energetic anatomy, it's going to be alchemizing and going to different places where it needs to be going. And a lot of that is going to be unconscious to you, but some of it will be conscious to you, but you will miss it because it's so subtle, if you are not single focused, if you're not quiet, if you're not grounded, if you're not in that receptive state to have it come in. The second message that I wanted to say are some keywords. The keywords are that you mentioned are servant, and one I want to add is surrender. So servant came through with a message for you guys when Pernell mentioned it, and it's like, hey, Cappy's, big daddy, so to speak, masculine, feminine, or gender non-conforming, right? This is that Cap energy. This is the authority. However, right now we understand it. Even the best of authorities knows when it's time to stop and listen. And then the question is, well, who are we going to listen to? And that makes the difference between someone who's mature within the mindset or an immature, because yes, the maturity is like, okay, I do need to listen at times, but then further maturity is like vetting who's coming in to give you those messages. And of course, Capricorn, with that ultimate authority, so to speak, who do you think you should be opening up to? This is that higher energy that should be coming in for you right now. So this is a nod back to what we just said about getting into the receptive state for you, because some of the information that's coming in, you do need to hear and you do need to know so that you can put into motion in your life, whether it's in your finances, your relationships, your businesses, whatever. And that energy is very subtle. So if you're like helping too many people, if you're all over the place, you're going to miss the insight that is trying to come through because it's so crowded out. So get single focused, one stream at a time is what they're saying. And that is the, I guess that's partly the surrender part, but the servant part is that you want to make sure that you have that humility, although humility isn't coming through strong in an instructional way right now, but just understanding that hierarchy there. I sit, I listen, I receive, and then what's next, right? I didn't even, this is where we find ourselves. What's next? So I'm going to go ahead and pull one card because there's a very audible emptiness right here. This is what I'm saying, creating that space. So one card, look what it is. Dun, 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 it's the Judgment card. But what I'm seeing mostly here is her pausing before she can say what she needs to say. Now you, the observer, are occupying both places. On the one hand, you are the one who's pausing from a higher perspective to deliver some message of insight. And at the same time, you're also the one receiving who is pausing so that you could receive it. I hope that makes sense. And then it'll be off to the races to do what Cappies do anyway. But it's time for you to get, maybe in a very 3D sense, more spiritual, more, depending on how you view it, because some Capricorns are very grounded. They don't want to even hear about that stuff. But for those who don't want to hear about it, they're going to have to switch into that mode now so that they can receive what very practical information they need to hear. Oh, sorry. Someone's talking about the water. Sorry, let me just make sure it comes through. I'm getting in the sacral energy space, also a little bit moving into the root energy space. There needs to be more of, less of a water element in those spaces. I'm not sure who that's for. Of course, it's going to be very specific, but of course you are the listener, you're discerning, and this ties in with the Capricorn message of needing to be in a space where you can vet the information that's coming in. So when I give you, they're calibrating. When I give you this message about water element in that sacral region / root region, I said that it kind of feels like some of you need to take less of that element there. But if you, the listener, are listening, you use your discernment and determine how does it feel within you. And that in and of itself is a very watery expression, Capricorn. So you got to get into it, right? To feel, does it make sense to have more or less water element here? But you'll have to get into the receptive mode, which is into your feelings, in order to receive what I'm getting and to vet it properly so that you can get the very practical instruction, which is to either have less water or more water. Does that make sense? So you might have to hit
1,000%.
that, but
No,
they
1,000%.
it. Yeah.
1,000%. The last piece you added, what it heard is our sacral chakra. All the chakras have an element. Not all of them, but the majority have an element, and that we know of, the 7 at least. And the sacral chakra's element is water.
Okay.
The element of the sacral chakra is water. And so when she's getting a channel message of less water, they kind of completed it on my end. And what they meant is more water for you, less water from others. So more time for your own emotions, less time for other people's emotions. So that when you do listen to them, you can discern with that seventh house logic. You can balance between here's my water, here's their water. Wait, I need to cut their water supply off because I'm always feeding their water, like more than my own. And so if I feed my own, if I attune to my own water source, I don't need their water source.
Wow, I just
And
want
that's
to
kind of yeah.
Oh, sorry, I don't want to cut you off, but that was a very human design kind of thing there with that sacral energy source that's the generator. So the generators actually provide the planet or this realm with the energy, the life force energy. It's through generators that comes. And generators, if they're not careful about who they allow to tap into that energy, they can be made slaves or, enslaved by those people. So you have to be very, very mindful for some of you who, are fielding a lot of people in your field. How are you using that energy? Wow.
That was the key. That's literally the key, right? Generator 70% of the population. So that's a lot. That's a lot. It's a lot of people that can easily tap into your field. So that was that, Cap. All right, Capricorn. If you made it here, drop the goat because this is always you, right? Like at the end of the day, you're going to always conquer any challenge, any task, okay, anything that requires your discipline. So right now, what your discipline is requiring most is to cut off the water sources from other people outside of yourself so that you can go ahead and cleanse your own auric field, your own projection field. And as you do that, you'll be able to reinvite and open up their fire hydrants so that they can come through and you can come through powerfully, equally on an energetic scale. And that is the seventh house. It's the equal energetic scale. All right. So Capricorn, we do have y'all. Thank you for joining us in this great work, Angelic Reiki, the healings. All right. Do remember next Sunday we'll be doing this ancestral healing on the lungs. Okay. This cosmic reinvitation of letting go of certain resistance so that we can actually invite wisdom and clarity and abundance through air. All right. So here we go. We have two more. Thank y'all for hitting the likes and the thumbs up button. If you're on my channel, go check out Janelle's channel. All right. We have it. It's down in the description of this video. It's A Compassionate School. I'm sorry. A compassionate heart school. A compassionate heart school.
What's in the name, right?
All right. And the names, I think names are important to an extent.
I do too, actually. But I'm just.
No, I think names are very important. I think it's very important with those. So I like to get names right. A compassionate heart school. All right, here we go. Aquarius. Here we go. Yeah. All right, Aqua. We're clapping those hands together. If you're on the other side of the screen right now, I just feel like it's important. If you're on the side, just clap for yourself. Wow, I'm so proud of what's going on, what has been accomplished. The shifts, the changes, as I shake my hands, okay? And I think this is key for you, Aquarius, because 6th house is one of the houses of humility where you have a tremendous amount of enemies. By default, enemies exist in the 6th house. And as a part of that, you do need to clap for yourself because this is not Leo. This is not where you get attention and energy because you did something cool, because you did a backflip, because you created an art and a piece of painting that was that should be exhibited for the world, because you reached a certain sense of fame. Nope, none of that. The 6th house is clap for yourself house. 6th house is these enemies can't touch me if I'm aware, okay, of this physical environment and reality that I'm surrounding myself in, but as well as the esoteric environment, okay, the esoteric ambiance, I feel. And Venus in Cancer is going to be, I think, a little bit of a difficult transit for you because Cancer has a natural quincunx relationship, meaning a complex relationship with Aquarians. But always remember that a complex relationship, like a quincunx, provides a tremendous amount of gifts. When you understand that this complexity that you may face during this transit is also riddled with blessings in the physical reality. This is not an esoteric gift. This is a real life physical gift that you could touch that's on its way to you through the difficulty, okay, through the enemy minefield. All right. And that's some of the first key things. Now, how you're going to be able to navigate that minefield is not through the physical. And that's the irony. You're going to navigate this through more esoteric spaces, okay? Hidden cavities, seeing behind the veil, right? These are key critical messages for my Aquarians. This is a third eye transit for you, okay? This is something where you're going to see the truth, not with your physical eyes. And so I really feel that you, in this transit, Venus, you need to learn to value the astral realm and the work that happens on the astral, and your ability to do your own shamanic walks through your own emotional 2D plane, okay? Your second dimensional, your second density through the 2D plane, aka which is the dream space. Okay, I really feel tremendously this is a dream space transit for you. You will see enemies on the physical world, but you're not going to deal with your enemies in person. So this is going to require you to observe, which I think you're tremendous at doing. Observe the physical reality, take notes, and when you go take a nap or meditation or go to sleep, okay, you need to ground your physical body prior. I'll show you a quick mudra that you can do. Wow, what the heck? I've never seen that before. Okay, here's a quick mudra, right? You put, this will reduce your anxiety. So when you're laying down in bed, or if you're just gonna meditate, you can hold these two fingers, these two middle fingers down with your thumb. And your capillaries will basically send blood a different way. This is gonna reduce your anxiety. Okay, literally looks like a little bowl, right? And by doing this, the nerves in your mind will settle. It's a simple mudra. You could do this also before bed, and then you could just focus on your breath from that point. Now, when you do that, your physical body and its nervous system will settle. This will allow you to feel safe to enter the astral in a way you have something. In a way that you'll be able to take your own shamanic walks through the dimensional plane of the dream space, the second density. And your third eye and the fact that your body's grounded will let you walk through that with confidence. Even though you won't know exactly where to go or how to navigate it, understand and trust that there is this internal compass that is walking you through that. All you need to know mostly for this transit is that your physical body must be grounded prior. Wow. Because that will not let you feel the safety that you need to experience before you go into the astral. So another thing you can do would be different grounding stones. Obsidian is a great one to do that internal shadow work. Tourmaline under your pillow. Blue calcite, labradorite will help your energetic projection field, the electromagnetic field around you, to not allow other people's thoughts to enter that space while you're doing this work. Because you, right now, they will try. I'm telling you flat out, like, this is an enemy transit for you. They will try. But the beautiful part about enemy transits is they will come with tremendous physical world blessings. So, Jolene, what do you have for them to whether unlock, open up, and just embrace this channel that they're being provided to essentially sidestep their enemies and turn their enemies into associates, which I really feel like is going to happen.
Wow. First of all, the level of esoteric depth to what you said, I feel like Aquarius, you can handle it.
They got it.
First of all, you just yeah, I can feel it. You just called me Jolene, but it fits into the message. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Once we're in it, once we're in the vibes, everything is what it is. But
keep that thought. Keep that thought. If this matters to you, if you feel a call, I want you to look at the numerology for Jolene, whoever you are. I don't know who you are, but when you come and you see that, look up the numerology for Jolene, and that message will clarify. Okay, now go back.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Jolene, Joleen. So, my first thought was like, oh, there. See. Notice how like the energy of the field. I don't know if anyone felt the shift in the energy during that message, but the energy kind of shifted and went a little bit lower. And I believe that it has to do with it's an instructional moment, because a lot of times during these kinds of messages, spirit will come through to exemplify for us what the topic is. So you're talking about this enmity that exists in this space, right? The enemies and all of that. And at one point you said even that people's thoughts can come in and throw, like, notice how I'm like struggling to talk because I'm in the field and I'm feeling this force, right? People's thoughts can come in and affect you. So here we're just going to go ahead and blow that off because it's already an instructional moment. I want you to start to think about, as we raise ourselves up in the field, I want you to start to think about who can be an enemy but myself? Who can be my enemy but myself? Anybody that is outside of you, and yeah, there are very real people outside of you, they are only at best reflecting back to you an energy that you will then interpret based on how you're feeling and what you believe to be true, your perception in this now moment that you're having. So a lot of times people may be approaching you in ways that are not really ops, or they're not really antagonistic, but based on what you come into the field already believing to be true about yourself, believing to be true about the other person, and believing to be true about the space, is just going to be magnified. It's pushed out of your chakras and then reabsorbed back through your chakras, and you believe it to be what the other person is doing. So that is literally the definition of projection from an energetic standpoint. Your beliefs and your information is pushed out and it's hanging around there, so it comes right back in, and based on your level of awareness, you will interpret that as something that is foreign to you. But nothing in this world is foreign to you. It's just a reflection back to what is going on within you. And the more that you do your inner work and healing, the more able, or the better able you are to identify that. And so people who are at a low level of consciousness within a certain area of their life, they will be in the blame game, right? And you can tell those who are at a higher level of consciousness, they can still have the initial idea of, oh, it's this person's fault, but they can sit down and they can rationalize and they can bring it back to themselves to see what their role was in that. And so a major message coming through for you, Aquarius, for this time period, and also instructively for others that the guides want to bring through, is start to learn to understand that the enemy is within, just like God is within. And when you start to be able to own that, this is owning your stuff, when you start to own it, what you're actually doing is, as A Course in Miracles says, and that's my favorite text, if you follow my channel, you know it, what you're doing is you're quote unquote introducing this concept and this energy of forgiveness into the world. But forgiveness has nothing to do with any wrongdoing, because from the highest perspective, which is outside of this dual space, there is no wrongdoing. We are who we are. Down here in this personality space, where we have these fake personalities for the sake of this lifetime, where we have these emotions, where we have the influence of our past lifetimes, where we have our socio-cultural programming, where we have all of this kind of learning and duality, we're going to see wrongdoing, and we're going to see fault, and we're going to think this person did that, and we're going to the same, but it's as meaningless as a movie. When we see a movie, it looks like it's one linear thing that we can sit and watch with popcorn, but actually it's just a collection of fast moving now moment frames. Boop, boop, boop. There's no trapping within a now moment. You are free to jump to different timelines. The only thing that keeps you in the same experience is your belief in linearity. See, look, I told you Aquarius was out here bringing us with these messages, right? And so to kind of bring that into a more linear way to look at it, anytime you can point the finger, make sure that you're noticing you're pointing 3 back at you. And if your interest is really to learn about yourself, you start to do well, in that case, it's not pointing, but usually, right? The point is for you to do the inner work. If you're really interested in your spiritual growth and understanding and actually getting to that place where we call the peace of God, which is really just a piece of integration with self, then you have to start taking personal responsibility. So if any of you Aquarians were listening and thinking, oh my God, I'm entering into the house of ops right now, this is what's going on, I want to let you know, do not fear, because the only thing you would be fearing is yourself. So this is about you needing to get into a place of scholarly acceptance, meaning looking at what's going on, starting to understand it, bring it in, alchemize it, and do your due diligence. And your due diligence, this is your second card, out in the world as it relates to this message, is to start understanding, whoa, when I open my eyes, why is that what I saw? I didn't see someone coming to teach me. I didn't see someone coming to love me. I didn't see someone coming to compliment me. I saw someone coming to make me feel bad about myself, to show me that I'm a loser, just like my family did, all of this stuff. So it all starts with you, and that's the message. And all of that is the deeper message that came attached to the one thought I heard when you started this whole thing with Aquarius. I heard, where are my followers? Where are my people? Because I'm seeing a lot of you listening here are listening. You think you're being entertained. You think you're, coming for some esoteric knowledge. No, you're here to work. Sorry, I do a lot of mission work. So if people need to, we're out here with the work, but you're here to work on this planet. And so work in service to others, in service to community, Aquarius. And so your job is to learn how to exercise as wise a leadership as you can. And so you must make sure your perception is on point so that you can trust that when people are following you, that they're following and they're getting something valuable out of it. It's not just about, hey, people come follow me, blah, blah, blah. So that's it. And the Aquarius, that was, sorry everyone else who got like only a 2-minute reading, but Aqua, they're out here. And so.
Nah, that jump was thug life. No, it was thug life, and it was necessary. I do hold Aquarians to a higher extent. I hold them to a higher discipline.
They hold themselves
because I really do believe their purpose for being here is complex. It is not technically fair, but to the human in the human realm. But understand that like the work you do and the rewards you receive, they're not ever about what you receive in this physical realm, because you're naturally blessed with physical realm abundance so that you can do the type of spiritual work that you're here to do. So that automatically comes. But your real reward is not what you get in the physical. And that is why Saturn shows you your 12th house rulership. But we'll say that for another time. Aquarians, thank you for checking in for this Angelic Guru. Hit the thumbs up and the likes button.
Thank you for service.
1000%. Thank you for your service. Make sure you check us coming up this Sunday coming. All right. On the lung healing. And like I said, you're an air sign, so you're probably one of the ones that benefit the most when you look at the lungs and air. Thank you everybody for being in the chat, dropping that love and sharing how beautiful she is, energetically, physically, and otherwise.
Thank you.
Calling her what she is, a goddess, in the name of love. Namaste. So I really do appreciate y'all for that. Just showing love. So we have the last one of the show today, Pisces. I'm here to say what up to you. All right, Pisces. You made it to this. Pisces, when you do watch this, if you're watching a replay, all right, I want you to go ahead, take a moment to drop the fish down below, letting us know that you are etherically binding the realms of magic to the physical world and reality. All right. Pisces, you are going through the 5th house transit. And this is a transit of how you treat and interact and love yourself amidst and amongst your peers who will naturally develop envy and jealousy towards you. And understanding that the way you respond to that envy and jealousy is probably going to be how you naturally do, in an egoless fashion. And that is how you become one of the best teachers and learners of the principles that exist on this physical reality and negative, quote unquote, which you understand they're not, emotions of envy, jealousy, and even greed for attention. And the way you respond and the way you maintain your egoless nature is going to be teaching the people who you come in contact with how to do the same. So the key thing is you as a mutable water sign to not absorb them and any negative frequencies they pour out, and to remember that one of your biggest missions here, karmically speaking, is to sacrifice that ego response, to not replicate and absorb what they do, but to absorb them more like the Kali goddess, whole, and destroy them through compassion and gentle kindness. So that's one of the first steps. That's a mission and a role that is always active for you. I don't think it's particular to this transit, but Venus in Cancer will help you to actually cleanse your aura field from the parts of the negative energies of hate and greed and jealousy and envy and all these out of balance heart chakra frequencies. I'm getting solar plexus as well. Okay. Again, that power hungriness, that critical nature, all these things right now, Venus in Cancer is going to actually help you cleanse your mental body. And it's also going to help you cleanse your physical, energetic body from the parts of those negative frequencies that did get through. Because though you can transmute all of that and you are as deep as the ocean, you're still a human. And sometimes, not every situation can you express the same level of compassion and gentle nature. You're going to come into understanding that every once in a while, like the crab, you're going to have to clip somebody. And that's not really your first option by default as a fish. Your only naturally known defense is to run away when a threat comes in the ocean. But this fifth house is going to give you the courage to realize that there are also things in the ocean that goes bump in the night, which are way more dangerous than anything that we've ever seen on land. Yeah. And that is a part of you being that, 70+% of water in the world, being the mysteries and the depths of that ocean. You are just as dangerous with the potentiality to be spiritually violent as it, right? And so that's where it's key to make sure that during this transit, you allow your aura to cleanse so that that level of unseen violence and potential, I'm getting psychological manipulation, okay, doesn't start to pour out of you because you don't want to attack them head on. All right. Where you can maybe hit them in the mind and I'm getting the psycho-emotional, the psycho-social realms. That's how you usually attack somebody. My key is to do this, in my opinion, in the most positive manner, because I feel like it was really important to explain that dichotomy, which you've been going through during Gemini season and all of your squares. You've been coming in tune with the internal dichotomies of your thought process, where you pick up everybody's thoughts, energies, feelings, emotions, and beyond. And sometimes you do absorb and you test out. Well, they did it to me, let me do it back. Sometimes that is just for you to understand humans and why people lie and are not as gentle as they can be. And in other times you do it because you get caught and you've absorbed your energy and you just didn't ground yourself properly, and you probably don't even know that you're being controlled by one of these lower frequencies. And then there's the other side where you're fully aware, and Venus in Cancer has the ability to wash away those impurities, wash away the parts that don't belong, and ultimately bring after the storm sunshine and rainbows. So, Janelle, what's opening up for you for Pisces?
Wow. First of all, preach. Secondly, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you guys can hear a whole block party going outside with air horns going. So, I mean,
no, we don't hear much. We don't hear much.
Okay, good, because I'm just hearing it. All right. So, first of all, everything you said is completely showing up here. It's in the air for Pisces. If I had to say it in like 2 words, social responsibility. That's what you're being called to be mindful of right now, Pisces. Social responsibility in the sense that we understand from this level as well as a higher level, how we act out in the world is the direct reflection to what we've got going on, and whether or not we have the mindfulness in the now moment to stop that energy from just going straight out in there. So I would start asking you to consider what are my checks and balances? Do I have a checks and balance system for what happens when an emotion comes up? Because at any given time, we are all a cute little slurry of emotion. And depending on our ability, individual ability to hold back, any stimulus that comes from outside, whether somebody cuts you off in traffic, whether you see a picture and now you're starting to wonder what it means, that can release the floodgates. And if we're not in a space of emotional maturity or an emotional ability to control the flow of that energy, and also the way that that energy hits our mind and the story that we make up about it, we can become, like you said, very violent outside of us. And so that is a big message, because here you are with this Justice card coming through. The Justice card is not coming through for you. You are in the position of justice here. And super cutely, ding, it was actually turned a little bit obliquely. And there's a little bit of a toddling energy here. I often feel the inner child of Pisces when I do readings for them. And she literally was like, I'll do it. Like, and it's like, I'll take this sword, and you're like toddling under this big sword. I'll do it, and I'll do the cord cutting, and I'll do the justice, and I'll make the rules. And so, in a sense, we love this inner child. This does not mean that Pisces is immature. In fact, really, I'm a firm believer that the inner child within is actually reflective of the true essence of who we are, and that we will all one day return back to that childlike way. That's why we return like a child to source, right? And so we also see this movement in the physical world where, you know, every person starts off as a child, they get older, then as they get into senior mode, the longer they live, the more like a child they become again. And so you see, you as the foremost teacher, I guess, here within the Zodiac, you're not some little child, but you've gotten to a place in your evolution where you can be like a child in a space, but that comes with its own call for the wisdom that you have behind you to be applied so that you can act like an adult, you can act maturely. So if you're here in a position where you're wielding power, where you are making decisions, where you are connecting with people, where you are saying things and expressing yourself in a way, you want to be mindful, bam, of all of this that was showing up for you. We've got the Three of Swords here. We've got this card. Look at how she's in this toxic idea of this person. I saw the Devil card wanting to come out, peeking out here. The Moon card. This is a nod to the amount of wisdom, experience, emotions. May I also say baggage? But baggage is universal, isn't it, right? Baggage that you're carrying. So in a sense, you're like a loaded gun on this planet. And one thing I forgot to mention about Aquarius is they're held to a very high standard because their energy goes out everywhere, all the way out into the cosmos, across the land, even into the earth. They're here as that messenger that can do long range. If you're going to be going out and doing those kinds of long range things, you are held to a higher standard. Pisces, if you carry all of this stuff within you and wisdom that is so in your unconscious, you really have to work this lifetime to really get through all of these internal these internal enemies. And we know that, I don't do astro, that's all you, Pernell, Bobby, but in the 12th house, it's all about those hidden enemies. As we talked about already, there's no enemy outside of us, but that which shows up at our door as a call from our own energy that we put out there, they're reflecting back to us. So I would ask you as an exercise, Pisces, oh, how cute. Look at the little card coming out. It's like, boop, see how playful your energy is? Hello, right? This is literally because I hear it, I feel it, right? So I would ask you, Pisces, in any area of your life, as just something that you should be doing every day, consider to yourself, what do I got going on in terms of my emotions? How am I seeing the world? I have it within me, this whole range of experience and all that is from lifetimes and what I've noticed and the way people have treated me and the way that I've treated others. What do I see outside of me? Am I giving myself the chance to stop and reflect, bring in mindfulness so that I can take a responsible teacher-like step outside of me? And we all make mistakes, but you always want to act outside of you in accordance with the idea that you have a lot to share. And so you're kind of like a natural role model. So what kind of Pisces are you going to show up as to teach the rest of us? That was really long-winded, but notice how the message is really kind of, you're the baby, but after the entire journey. This is not like, beginning Zodiac, this is end. So I'm just saying. Whew. That's you guys. Sorry, I hope that was okay. We get those.
I think it's tremendous. Pisces, letting us know that you are the god of the seas, I want you, if you're watching this on replay or now, drop the trident in the chat and let us know you're representing Poseidon, the god of the seas, the ruler of the entire second dimension in reality, aka dream space. You know, able to easily tap fluidly into the
inconceivable. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. You said something about things being underneath the ocean that we don't even know that are more dangerous. And I just want to add this, not to cut you off, but the guides wanted me to make sure I mention that. The keeper of the inconceivable. The inconceivable is that category where you don't know that you don't know what you don't know. There's stuff out there you have no concept of not knowing. But Pisces, you have that inconceivability within you because of how you've been around the block. So you really have to exercise that social responsibility during this time.
Yeah, no. It's key. She keeps saying social responsibility, and that's Saturn in Pisces. All right. Because again, like we said, like the advancement of your soul, if you ever decided, and when you decide, because I've met some dark Pisces, but when you decide to go dark,
me too.
Bruh, different. You know, when you decide to go dark, understand without that social responsibility, not everybody has a soul as advanced as yours that can even handle that level of inconceivable destruction. Because you are the most divine feminine energy, and divine feminine energy by default will destroy anything that cannot handle it, right? Like the moment the container, let's say the masculine equal container, cannot handle the divine feminine and all of its glory and its darkness, it will destroy it. It will literally completely engulf it and make it no more. So this is when the ocean floods the earth, right? This is that level of catastrophe. But understand that this can happen with you at any point without the ocean flooding the earth, where you just flood what we see here, your natural environment being a third house, as well as the psychology of people that you are more intimately connected with. And these can be lovers. And I feel like that's where it's most dangerous, where that's an isolated event with you and your lover, right? But that's also a lot for any one person to take, especially when you're pouring collective baggage onto a single person, when you don't deal with that darkness. So Pisces, you know, people would love to think you sweet, but I know you, okay? Like, I know you got all sides. Like, and I will tell you, you know, flat out, like, there are parts of me who understands to respect the terrifying nature of some of the versions and identities that Pisces can carry, because that's just a personal truth. Like, there are some identities that they carry that I understand very clearly, past life and others. You should be afraid of them. Now, with that being said, that also was that level of power you have of why you have a social responsibility to show up pure, to show up correct, to show up with joy and vitality, and understand that you, unlike many, have the ability to mutate, to time shift, and otherwise to be what needs to be had at that particular moment. And that's going to shift moment to moment. So respect that process, Pisces. Drop that trident, letting us know that you represent the inconceivable. All right. And
mindfulness. that's the action. Make sure you're being mindful moving forward. So.
Yes. 1,000% aware. I could see it went through a physical labor. Yeah, facts. So this is a pleasure. This is a joy. I'll have to say, with a happy forever young and heart child today. Good. Everybody go outside. It's Sunday. Sunday is a play day. So that's it. I'm going to take all this off the screen. I'll give you one final reminder to go back, check your timestamps when you resonate. This doesn't even start until June 17th. So that's another week from now. And then there's a full moon in Capricorn coming right after. So there's a lot happening. There is our membership meeting coming up next Sunday. I'm going to help you a lot with the resistance. I'm leaving it short there so that we don't spend too much time on that. That said, Janelle, do you have any final closing messages as a guest on this channel for the first time that you would like to share?
Well, thank you guys so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. This is the first time I've actually launched live from one of my, from my YouTube. I'm usually like just a guest or something. So it's been such a pleasure to have this maiden voyage, I guess, with you all. And yeah, so just as always, do your best. We're no one's here to be perfect on this planet, and many philosophers will wonder why we're here to begin with. Maybe we're just here to have these experiences, and so therefore we should embrace the personality aspect of us. But it doesn't mean that you need to like stomp around in a negative space with that personality. So I guess, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about that, but feel free to come through to my channel. I haven't posted the June monthly reading yet. And for those of you who watch my videos, thank you so much for your patience. I just have a lot going on, but once I put that out there, everyone feel free to come in and check in with the monthly energies.
Yeah. Beautiful. So you have her channel right there. It says The Compassionate Heart School. Check that out. If you're watching on my channel, do go ahead, give her a like, give her a subscribe, especially if you resonate with her. I mean, if y'all want to see her again on this channel, let us know in the comments and we'll go ahead and see. You know, if y'all want her back, we'll bring her back. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So, gang.
Oh, can I say one more thing? I'm so sorry. I forgot.
Please.
I need to be better at marketing myself. What kind of Capricorn rising am I? Also, if you'd like to have a personal session with me, feel free to come in and check us out. We pretty much do everything. So whatever it is that you need, just come through. You can find me on my Etsy link. And yeah, pretty straightforward.
Do me a favor. I don't have that link. Send me that exact link, and I will put it in the description so that you know people can find you through there and make sure we get you seen, girl.
Thank you.
Beautiful. So, Janelle, I will catch you backstage. For everybody else, thank you for hitting the likes and the thumbs up button. Thank you for being here, for your patience, for this 2.5-hour transmission. We pretty much stay here consistently with us, and that's a blessing, you know, to have your respect, to have your loyalty, to just be honored by your presence, and, you know, the listening ear and open heart to actually hear what we have to say as creators in this universe. So let's
and also
see you backstage.
Compassionate Heart School with A, not the.
Sorry, A, Compassionate Heart School. My bad. Yo, let me get that. And I'm going to put it in the description so that y'all have a direct link. You can click it, right? A, Compassionate. Yes. So drop that, and I will put it in the description. So send me that, and I'll do it right away. All right, y'all. I'll see you soon.